Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike.
Chris, figure I get the meeting going here. I have some personal business to take care of for a little bit, so I'll get things going, and then I'm going to mysteriously disappear for a little bit and
Okay. Yeah.
and be back. But how you doing?
Oh, okay. Nothing profound or profane to report on. So,
Nothing worth crying about, right?
Hmm.
Hi, Ken. Yeah. So should be a good meeting tonight. We have a lot of good photographs for the contest again this year. So
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
so I feel guilty because I get to see them in advance and get a lot longer to look at them. So I don't vote. I'm the moderator, so I don't get to vote, but
Yeah, that's
certainly
what's
enjoy a
what's
lot of
kind of
nice.
odd is I'm still in touch with Bob Gordon, who when he used to enter these contests, he would just wipe the slate clean. You don't want to get in a contest with Bob Gordon because he'll just smash you out. But he just lost interest, so that's why you haven't seen him in a while.
Well,
Do you remember? You remember what I'm talking
yes,
about? Like,
yes.
yeah, when he would enter a contest, man, there might be one or two categories he didn't win, but other than that, yeah.
Well, some people just have a natural eye and good
Yeah,
technique, and and everything they shoot just turns out like an award winner.
and he traveled a lot too, so he got to see different and unusual things.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's nice to be able to kind of preview these each year. You see some new stuff, and yeah, we have a lot of very talented photographers, and I get you see a lot of these shots. I'll never get to visit, especially a lot of the foreign stuff.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
So it's interesting to see where the industry and everything is going. You have the history of where we've been with the like Precepta and stuff like that, and now you have the contemporary U.S. and foreign, and seeing the state of the art right now and where we're going. It's kind of neat. It's nice to see the revival. I know there was a time where we were wondering where we were going to see the last trolley ride ever,
yeah, right.
and it's coming back strong in a lot of towns, a lot of new systems, and it looks neat. So there's hope.
Yeah, right.
So, so what you're down what
Baltimore.
Baltimore? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You getting any weather down there at all? We had a lot of wind up here today.
Yeah, an awful lot of wind. That's so much I could hear it a lot.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yes.
that kind of stuff. So
Yes. We
yeah,
could hear it whistling through the trees and maybe some of the cracks in the house too.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. No real draft though, so the house was good in that regard. Yeah.
I'm always interested in people's backgrounds. I see Jim joined us there from Indiana. What's your background there?
Well, worked in Indiana University for 36 years, electrical engineer in the physical plant.
Okay.
They later changed it to a fancy name called facilities, but it was still physical plant to me.
Yes.
But
Was that Bloomington?
yeah, Bloomington.
Okay.
Yeah, we shared a little information. You've been here to
Yes.
yeah,
Go down
Smoking
Green.
Jacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice area. And yourself, where are you from?
Well, I'm from Philadelphia, born and raised, and but I used to work at a Navy base that was just suburban Philadelphia. They closed that, so and the jobs moved down to Patuxent River, Maryland. So I worked out of there for 15 years. And that's when I was traveling to Indiana. And I gotta say they were some of the best trips. That was a really nice group of folks down at Crane.
Yes.
And I gotta say some of the most hospitable people I ever traveled and visited with. When
Okay.
I on travel, there never was a night people would say, "Hey, what are you doing tonight? Want to come over for dinner?" I mean, the only reason why I ever ate alone was if I wanted to. Somebody was always asking me. Were very friendly, and they all came to my retirement in Pax River. They're just I really enjoyed working with those people, and it's a really nice area out there. It would come to Bloomington and then drive down to Crane, and I just really enjoyed that ride.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the beauty there. Greene County and yep, that's Hoosier hospitality, I guess, we.
Yeah, it really was. And you know, what happens, being part of the military, we had base closings and stuff like that. And they came under my jurisdiction because as a result of that, we kind of saved them. They were under threat of having to move to New London or Newport, Rhode Island. So coming under my jurisdiction allowed them to stay in Indiana. And I really appreciated, why they wanted to stay there. And, they wouldn't have moved. They would have just lost their jobs. But it's a really nice area. Just same reason why I was upset that our base closed and I lost my job in Pennsylvania, had to move to Maryland. I know they were upset about, leaving Indiana. They really had strong ties, and it's just a very nice place. So I really enjoyed the heck out of coming out there. I should have made excuses to travel out there.
Well, that's good.
but-
I'm glad
but-
you had good.
But that
enjoyment.
facility behind you there, I see a Penn Central, looks like an exit unit there, and
No, I found that and I kind of appreciate it. It works well to get, to one side of my head. And, Penn Central's got, it's got a history. I always appreciated that. I read several books on it and what a conglomerate, and it's what it was, and still a lot of history there.
I had that firsthand. My father was a locomotive engineer for the Pennsylvania and then became Penn Central and ultimately Conrail. So about the time I got very active in model railroading was the time Penn Central was formed.
Okay. Yeah.
So I was a young guy in a model railroad club wearing a Penn Central railroad cap, and I was like loudly booed by the rest of the members. So they were very upset about losing, the Keystone, and
Sure.
Tuscan red and pinstripes, and so it was. And I didn't know why they hated me, but because I represented, what ruined that. But yeah, and actually I worked briefly for Penn Central in their signal department when I was a co-op at Drexel University. I worked in their signal department for a while and learned a lot about how railway signals work.
Oh, that's great. That's great. No, I'm just kind of a fan of trains and railroads, and I've modeled them for years, and I train, rail fan like everybody does,
Yeah.
like I think there's more of that now than, when I was younger and I didn't really appreciate, well, let's go find a spot where we can see a train, it's either there or it's not. But now a lot of these, like Fostoria, Ohio, I'm just mentioning a couple I know. I mean, they have these rail parks where you can go and park your butt and watch trains for the day. Might catch a lot, might catch not, but
Yeah.
that's really, they've done a lot with rail fanning. They see it as an economic plus. I know Fostoria, Ohio does, because that used to be a big industrial. I mean, it's the history of the East Coast all the way to Ohio, but
Mhm.
they used to have Fostoria glass. They had all kind of manufacturing places going on there. And now it's like nothing, come down to the old rail yard and watch trains.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a plus.
That story repeated a lot in the Northeast and I guess what people call the Rust Belt, where,
Yeah.
there was a lot of industry and it's going away. Yeah, I watch a lot of the webcams, and there's a really nice,
Yes.
Horseshoe Curve has a really nice park there where folks can come and picnic for the day and just watch the trains go by. And
Yeah.
I
Yep.
watch that webcam a lot. So
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm from Cleveland, Ohio originally, so I do
Ah.
have some industrial history being
So-
there in the steel mills and so on and so forth.
Well, you probably saw some of the nickel plate through there and
Yeah,
a
that's
lot-
right. Yep.
number of railroads through there.
Yeah, the Van Swearingen,
Yes.
terminal tower and the Van or Von Swearingen. They put quotes around that because I don't think they started out with that.
Yes.
But the Swearingen brothers, I think at one time I read a book called the Silent Giants, I think it was. I'd have to go upstairs and look for it, but it was about the Van Swearingens and how they accumulated railroads, and they were friends with the New York Central because the Central had to break up. So they were selling a lot of stuff to the Van Swearingens because they looked at as friendly competitors.
Yes.
But I mean, at one time they were close to having another transcontinental. I mean, they had Mopac and they were close to getting it, but then the crash and that went away.
Yeah, it's interesting how, there was a lot of things trending at that time. I mean, just think of like Insul in Chicago the same way, what happened had the crash not happened as far as that empire was concerned too. So very interesting. As I meant, very early before a lot of folks joined, I have to take off for a few minutes and take care of some personal business. I wanted to get the meeting started. So I'm going to kind of let you all chat with one another. I'll be back in a few minutes. And I'm actually here just for the slideshow. It's really Steve and Charlie's meeting, and I'm just the guy that does the photo contest. So enjoy chatting with one another. I'll be back in a little bit.
Thank you.
Hi, Bob Diedrich.
Hey there.
Jim, back on that picture that is behind you, it looks like a scrap line of E's and F's. Is that right?
I think it is, yes.
Or are they in service? No, or were they?
No, they are scrap.
Yeah.
Maybe I should find another photo.
I wasn't
I
sure
forgot
with
I
the
was
first
going-
one because it looked bad, but then I saw a bunch from the side. It looked like, yeah, they're E's and F's. So if they had that many together, I kind of figured it was so long.
There, we'll do that.
Oh, I wasn't complaining. I just
Yeah.
want to make sure I had the right identification there. That's all right. Yeah.
Well, I get to put faces with names. It's good.
Okay. That's more traction anyway.
Yeah.
I got my traction on suspenders on just by chance.
Yeah.
Oh. You're all way ahead of me with traction. I'm not quite sure how it took over me, but it's got to be maybe 10 or 12 years ago. And I grew up in Cleveland. They had streetcars until like the early 50s, and then they had the trolley trackless buses and that. So I can barely remember riding on a streetcar a couple of times in Cleveland. And but somehow I was reading and I just became more interested, and now I'm quite the traction fan. Okay, that's all I can say. I don't have a whole lot of experience in it, other than those couple of memories I had as a very small guy. But I love it. Very interesting. And my wife is, she knows what I'm doing, listens and the other, and it's always she says, it's always like a sad story at the end. And I said, well, you're right, except it's not, there's still going on. But when you get into the histories of it and that, it's always kind of a, well, the last 10 minutes is, they're retiring the road and
Oh, yeah. Well, they still got Shaker Heights.
Yeah, they do. Yep, they do. Yep, they did. Yeah.
I was there once about 30 years ago. I was fascinated. There was the stub end at one of the ends of the line wasn't long enough. So they'd come in with a 2-car train, just one driver. So the driver would have to break the 2 cars, go change ends with the one, bring it to the track going the other direction, then get on the second car, go change ends with it, bring it back together, and then recouple them. And I got on a bus to go past League Park just to see that gateway at the entrance there. And
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh, that's nice.
There was a story I read, and I forget who the baseball player was, but it was a story like 100 years ago where the story of like a country boy, naive or something. He got on the streetcar. He says, "Is this going to League Park?" And the driver says, "Yeah." He says, "Could you let me know when we get there?" He says, "Sure." And when he gets there, the driver says, "Okay, here it is." And the player says, "Wait, what? No, it can't be here. There's all buildings here." So the driver had to convince him, no, it's in that building here. I don't know how true the story is, but again, it was trying to emphasize like the country boy, the rural boy, first time in the city.
Yeah.
He figured a ball field would just be fields. And then the streetcar going there was a little unusual to him. Oh.
You know, the streetcars they had on the west side of Cleveland, in order to get downtown, there's an east and west of Cleveland. You know, all these towns, you
Yeah.
got east and west, north, south.
Yeah.
You know, the east
Sure.
siders didn't talk to the west siders, whatever.
Yeah.
But the Cuyahoga River divided the town, so we had that. But you would come on the surface and you'd come to the what we call the high level bridge. I think it's also the Detroit Superior Bridge. Okay, it goes from Detroit Avenue on the west side, Superior Avenue on the east side. But you would go down under the bridge. Surface of the bridge is traffic, cars and stuff like that. But you
Huh.
go down underneath it and you ride under that bridge. And then when you got over on the east side, you're going from west to east. The east side, you continued down a little bit longer, but then that's how you came into the terminal tower, the lower levels of the terminal tower.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. All right.
And that's like I have a full postcard up here somewhere my dad sent me years back, but that's one of my memories. The few I have of riding on a streetcar was I was scared when that car went down under the bridge because all of a sudden it got dark.
Oh.
And my dad always loved sitting in the back of the car. Okay, right in the back of the car. You know why? So he could look up and see that thing sparking, to see the clouds
that's
up there
true, too.
sparking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it was petrifying me. So,
Yeah.
but that's an interesting. And they used to open up that lower level once a year, so you could go walk on, and you could.
Huh.
I guess they had docents or something around to make sure, because I mean it still wasn't very safe. I mean they just kind of left it go, but they used to open it up. They haven't done that for years, but it's kind
I'm
of that's kind of a
surprised they
neat.
ever did. Okay. That's interesting. I guess you could, learn about the how-tos and when it was made and all that stuff. Yeah. Different cities have these like societies to give guided walks in unusual places.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Greetings to Tom Lederer, Charlie Long.
Hello, Chris. How are you?
Okay. Richard Short.
You say Rich is short or Richard? Short?
No, I was reading his full name.
Oh, okay. That's how it sounded. I was going to say, well,
All right, you're unmuted now. I just typed in his whole name,
Yeah.
but he's eating dinner while he's waiting. So
Ah.
I didn't
Okay.
put the, you want the picture on, Dad? I'll put the picture on. Hold on. Let's see if we got you. Well, we'll see. This is I don't know. I've not tried using this laptop before.
That's your laptop.
Hold on. I don't know why it's black. There's
try
probably
down the bottom to see if you see something pops up saying start or stop video.
I'm wondering if it's a privacy setting. The stop video is not, it says stop video. It doesn't have the mark through it.
It might have the camera covered with a cap. Make sure that's.
Okay, now we have it.
Ta-da!
That's
There
the
you go.
problem. There we go. I forgot about that. That's exactly the problem.
Ah,
Now they can see you and hear you.
Okay. Well, let them talk.
You're gonna let them talk. Well, then I'll mute you. Not gonna say anything.
Okay.
I'm just thinking we've got phone calls and all these other things going on, and then all of a sudden we're gonna have things in the background that we're not realizing we're disturbing other people. I don't know, Dad, what do you want me to do? You can talk now.
Well,
I can
I
mute it.
don't have anything to say. So let them talk.
All right, you want to mute it or not?
Yeah,
Okay. We'll unmute later, maybe.
Okay.
If I can ask, where are you folks located physically?
I'm in Baltimore.
I'm in New
Don't-
Holland, Pennsylvania.
Ah,
Cape May, New Jersey. But I look like I'm from Luzerne Depot.
Yeah.
yeah, and that car is in Baltimore right now anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, Mike Giannot's just right across the other bay from me.
As is that ship, Ever Forward, that's been stuck in the Chesapeake
Oh,
for a
stuck
couple weeks
down there?
now.
Yeah.
There was someone they profiled in the stories, about people who have all their stuff in containers. And I don't understand how she's trapped. She said they were moving from Hong Kong to New York City. And somehow all their furniture, while it was in a container on a ship that left Baltimore to go to the Newport News, why it was going that way in order to get to New York City, I don't know. But it's been stuck when the ship ran aground for the last 2 weeks.
Well, they can't go straight. It's not, they can't go in a straight line from Baltimore to New York. Maybe that's what they tried.
I don't know, man. It don't make sense to, when it's already in Baltimore, then to put it on a ship, let alone one that's going further away from New York City than towards.
Must have an old railroad guy working the
Yeah.
logistics desk,
Or a cab driver, like the mentality of running up the meter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody said you probably should ship your furniture to New York City, so they decided to ship it.
Yeah.
Well, Bob Dietrich, you're also south of the Mason-Dixon line too, right?
Yes, I am. I don't want to tell anybody though,
Well, if you drew a straight line on the Mason-Dixon line, so am I.
Ah!
Yeah, I think you're farther south than me.
Somebody said it. I don't know how true it is. Chris, I think I'm further south than you are.
I'll
I
look
think-
on a map and see. Yeah.
Well, see, actually, I think Baltimore and Washington are actually more west of Philadelphia than south.
Well, they
yeah.
definitely are west. I know that.
Yeah.
All right. Let me get my map out here.
Yeah, I look like I'm definitely further south than Baltimore. pretty close to as being as far south as Washington,
Yeah.
looking at a map.
Yeah. And you take a line and draw it straight from Washington to New York, and you get Philadelphia right in the middle.
Distance wise, no. It's about 90 miles from Philadelphia to New York. It's about 140. Philadelphia is sort of midpoint between Baltimore and New York.
Yeah, it's Wilmington is really, I think, the midpoint between New York and Washington.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
And on Amtrak, I think New York is the midpoint between Washington and Boston.
Okay.
Kind of quiet tonight, not very talkative. Somebody usually has something to say or something to add.
We could sing.
Picture's worth 1,000 words. Is that what you're?
We could attempt to sing.
Yeah. We need a little more to drink first, probably.
More.
Okay.
By the way, I got a room to stay during the West Penn meet. I had to pay full price on the hotel that they advertised.
Oh, they're fully booked for the meet? Wow.
That's what they say.
Okay.
Wow.
I doubt it. I mean, maybe they got 3 rooms booked.
Which
that's
hotel
enough.
are they recommending? That was something I was going to do this afternoon and I got off doing something else and I forgot.
Hampton Inn.
And then there was a smaller one.
Yeah, well, and that micro motel, what the heck's it called?
Yeah.
Bates
The
Motel.
Hotel Inn and Suites for $60. Stayed there one night. Really don't want to go back.
See, what I want to investigate, when I was at the NMRA convention back in October in Hunt Valley, Maryland, that I won, I think, like the door prize that was 75,000 Marriott Bonvoy points. So I'm sort of thinking that may cover my stay. So I think there is a Marriott affiliate in like Cannonsburg or so.
Or if not, it's not that far up by the airport where there are a bunch. That's about, I think, 20 minutes from the museum.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Which airport?
Greater Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's sort of west towards Ohio or so. I don't know.
No, it's southwest towards Washington.
Yeah, southwest. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you gotta come in the parkway and then go to the south 20 miles.
You could go to Washington and then go north.
And then west.
Yeah, but it's not that far west.
I wish I remember where I stayed last time. It was horrible.
Probably that
Horrible.
Metro Motel.
Yeah, I can't remember it, but oh my God.
Well, the place we stayed was okay, and they quoted a good price for Friday night, but they doubled it for Saturday night.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, last time I think I stayed at the Hampton Inn, but that was more in Washington proper.
Yeah, we used to stay there a lot. I don't know what their prices are right now.
I don't know. I'm looking to see if maybe Bob Dietrich has some family out there I can stay with.
My sister, but you don't want to stay with her.
She won't let you use her toilet paper.
Yeah, that's right.
Actually, from Washington, it's like 30 miles to the airport, so it's further than I thought.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I
Mhm.
thought it was.
So, Rich, I don't know if I can ask this now or should I ask it later, but you sent me information on that book, Trolleys to the Boardwalk, about the Sure Fast line.
It's about the city trolleys also.
Yeah, it's about, both the, yeah, CERA.
Is it worthwhile?
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
thought they did a nice job. It's not perfect, but it was very well done.
Yeah.
If it were mine to do, I would have arranged the pictures in some geographic order. And they were a little bit lax on attribution with some things. Like I got attributed some things that I had nothing to do with. And
Oh, so you're in the book, huh?
yeah,
Oh.
none of my pictures, but things that I helped Jim Henwood gather for it. And then there were some that where I had contributed them that were, attributed to someone else. I know it's hard, when you have that many images in a book to get it 100% correct. And so it probably all evened out.
And I
what's the-
assume what Jim really hadn't completed it, so they basically just took his manuscript and his notes or so,
Yeah,
and then they compiled it, so that's.
Then they
so
wrote it
it's easy
and did
to
the-
see how things could get mixed up.
yeah, and then they did the layout too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it's a significant contribution. They should
So
do well with it.
You recommend I should pick up a copy then, huh?
I think, yeah.
Okay.
You've earned it. Treat
Oh, is
yourself.
anybody going to the Timonium train show tomorrow? Ron's books will be there, so they'll probably have a copy of it.
Well, you can contact him too. He usually has things at some discount too, doesn't he?
Oh, I know. In fact, that's how I got my copy. It was sent from
What
Ron.
did you pay? What'd you pay him for it?
I forget. It was months ago.
Oh,
I pre-ordered it that long ago. But
yeah.
I would say if I can't remember the price, then it wasn't, they didn't rob me, but they didn't give me a gift either. It was kind of
Yeah.
like, yeah, decent, fine, I'll take it.
Well, it's listed for $65 on the CERA website.
Mhm.
I'm going to check that. Let me go to
Yeah, I just
checkout.
didn't- like if it was 600, I'd remember. If it was 6, I'd remember. But
Yeah,
65 is well in that middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's free shipping.
Yeah. So I ask once again, is anybody going to the Timonium train show tomorrow? They're advertising heavily on WBAL.
No, I'm not. I hope they do well.
Okay.
I'll go to the next. Are you going?
Probably not, but I reserve the right to change my mind since I'm so
Yeah.
close.
How far are you from Timonium?
Maybe 15 miles, and that might be a little high.
Oh, that close. I'll
What
tell you.
what town are you in?
Pikesville. It's just northwest of the city
Yeah, yeah.
lines.
Yeah, 10 or 15 miles. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bit of a ride to do a day trip to go down there from Philadelphia.
Oh,
True,
that
but
is-
I just enough of us used to do it often enough
Yeah, no,
Right.
that's,
that I was just curious. So,
oh, I don't know. I don't think that's that far of a ride. I don't know. Well, see, for work, I used to go down there a lot, so I sort of know how to go
Well, take-
down there back in the day there. It's not.
It's gotten a lot better with the speed limit on 95. I used to hate driving home from Washington, and the speed limit was like 55 miles an hour through Maryland. Oh my God, it took forever to get through Maryland. Now I think it's 70, isn't it?
Yeah, but it still takes forever.
Well, that's true too, yeah. Yeah, but I used to go down with Larry, so he wanted to be there before the doors opened at least an hour. So the only people on the highway at that time were truckers and us, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when Bob lived in Downingtown, he and I used to go, but we didn't go that we'd either go Route 1 and then over from forget what that town was.
Yeah.
Belvedere, or down through York.
Chris, you have suspenders on or braces?
Yes, traction orange.
Oh, look at that. Because George just came on and he's got
Yeah.
braces or suspenders on.
Okay.
I didn't know it was a formal event tonight.
Yeah.
Not really. It's just the elastic in my sweatpants gave out, so I use suspenders.
I'm just trying to keep my belly from pushing my pants down. That's all.
Yeah.
This is my first short sleeve for the new season.
Tom, Ron's Books has it for $60.75. Bit of a savings.
Is there shipping though for Ron?
Not if you go pick it up.
No, well, I'm not going to drive. I'm not going to spend $30 each way on the ferry to go over.
I don't know. You can email him and ask.
Yeah. Ron's Books, you said, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You do have pants on with the suspenders, Chris. They're not just thrown over your shoulder.
No, I said
Oh, too much information.
Actually, when you stood up, your shirt almost matches the same color as your pants. It looked like your
Almost,
suspenders
yeah,
were just hanging there, you know?
Again, just by coincidence.
So you're wearing your best work clothes tonight then, huh?
No, that's not true. Although I did wear these to work today because I work from home in this room you're looking at.
Yeah. My wife works for a company. They make sterile products. And back in early March of 2019, I guess it was, or 2020, when did the pandemic start? 2020?
2020, yeah,
Yeah.
March of 2020 is when we started working from home.
Yeah, we started March 13th, Friday the 13th. But in early March, her company saw that this was going to be an issue because of people buying the clean room, the sterile products that they make. So they decided, it's a small company, and they decided that everybody was going to work from home for a week. So if the pandemic did hit and people had to work from home, they wanted to make sure that their IT system would have been able to hold it. You know, so they worked from home, and then it hit, and they never went back. So last week was her first day back in over 2 years into the office. And so the reason they went back, they only went back for the day, was because a major client was coming in and wanted to meet with folks and buy everybody lunch and, you know, meet and greet. So my wife said to her manager, what is the dress code? Because before the pandemic, the dress code was casual. And her manager said, I don't know what other people are wearing, but I'm wearing my best pajamas.
Is that with the feet?
Yeah, feet are in it, yeah.
George, it's Leo Sullivan tomorrow night, right, for BSRA? He always does a nice show. Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you know what the show's going to be about?
I think it is the traction facilities in East Boston and Revere and Chelsea. sometimes.
Oh,
Yeah. He always puts together a good program now.
yeah. Ron's books is free shipping also to Cape May, New Jersey. So
That's,
It's
he got a
East
sale.
Boston, Chelsea, and Revere.
Yeah. That's what I said, just in a different order.
There it is. Okay, yeah, there it is there.
Okay.
Oh, this starts in May anyway. Did they get all their submissions for tonight?
When Mike Janad was here, he said, yeah, there were a lot of
Yeah.
submissions. He
Yeah.
didn't give me any numbers, so.
He got them all.
Yeah.
Whatever that-
A couple, there were a couple latecomers and he had to turn them away. You know, past the deadline. But the deadline was pretty well clarified, so. George, have you ridden the new line?
Not yet, no. I was too busy with everything else.
Yeah.
The first of the IGBT cars in service went in on March 21st. 3265,
Oh, okay.
it's in revenue service. Second one won't be out there probably till late summer sometime now. And they're getting ready to move the body of 3260 to Everett now. That's going to be a big project. They're changing, thank God they're changing their approach a little bit.
Yeah.
But I still don't know if it's going to work. We'll see. Okay.
In the 1920s, my father's uncle worked in the paint shop at Everett.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do good. They do good work.
Yeah.
In the PCC case, it's just that it's not prioritized. It's behind all the bus repairing and everything else, okay? So, you know, the way things are these days, any little defect, it has to go through the shop to get completely repaired. It's not like you put Scotch tape and baling wire over everything, okay?
They don't?
Not anymore, no. They swore by duct tape for decades.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just came in. Hmm. In the fridge.
anybody, anything?
Mm.
Many things, but nothing that has to really be said. Tom, it's interesting that the book did not list specifically which cars did not receive the steel redo on the Shorefest.
Do you have that other book?
The Borgnes one? No.
Yeah, I think Volkmer has that book, right? Isn't that a picture of
Yeah.
his model on it on a book?
Yeah.
I didn't thoroughly read, but I glanced at the April Trolleyville, and I see you're in it, Rich, with the Volkmer's model of the Shore Fast Line.
No, mine is the Shaker Heights car.
Oh, sorry. I told you, I just glanced at it, so
Yeah.
I guess I did.
Yeah.
Didn't get things
Yeah.
straight.
I'm going to show a little bit of it tonight too,
Okay.
during the intermission.
Rich, I don't know if you can answer this question, but the last picture for the Sure Fast Line car, it's the picture of the motor and the floor. I'm assuming that's HO scale?
Yeah.
What is
Yeah.
that track in the background? Is that something he does or is that
Yeah.
somebody else's track?
No, he has in his, he has an apartment in Paris. I think he and his wife, where he works, he and his wife have a place south of Paris somewhere. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure all the details about it. Yeah.
Mhm.
But I think Volkmar, doesn't he do stuff in end scale also?
Yeah. Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
think he has some street trackage, et cetera, in end scale and some
Yeah.
cars that he does in end scale.
And I think he also has brought it to the meets too.
Yeah.
He won't be joining us tonight because he has to be at work at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, which
Wow.
I had to step away because I wanted to grab my credit card. Rich, you convinced me I'm buying the book.
oh, give me your credit card numbers right now.
Tom, I'm back now. Is this the short fast line book?
Yeah.
It's not that we had a sure fast line. It's the one that
Right.
Rich
Fresh
has in
off
his
the
hand.
press, so to speak.
The new one that
The new one.
CCRA
it's what
book?
CRA.
Yeah.
Where do you get that?
CERA, or you can save $5 if you get it from Ron's books.
Or
Okay.
75, but who's counting?
Yeah.
I don't know if like somebody like Kevin Farrell carried it or anything like that.
He probably does,
Mhm.
or will. You could contact Kevin and ask him.
Yeah, since we don't have our friendly neighborhood bookstore anymore, God rest his soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, Manny surely would have had a good price.
Yeah, if nothing else, it was convenient, it was right there.
Yeah.
And, the books came to you.
Yeah.
How could you get it over Zoom now?
Well, this is true. This might be a problem now.
That's sort of like getting the donuts over Zoom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Virtual powder over your shirt. Yes.
Yeah.
This is that pregnant silence here. It's
Yeah.
we waiting for a fearless leader here to join us.
I guess
I'm
so.
not sure if we should.
Yeah.
Well, the order is complete. So Richard, based on your recommendation, I ordered the book.
How many did you order? You can bring them to the meet and sell
Well, if I do that like a normal model railroader, I'll buy them for $65 each, and I'll take them and sell them for about $35, $40 each. Isn't that how it usually works out?
them. Yeah.
I was at a show many years ago, and I forget which show it was, but I walked past a dealer's table, and he had a sign. He said, "Please buy my trains, pennies on the dollar, so I can buy more trains to sell you next time for pennies on the dollar."
So is this right? I'm seeing, I was off screen for a while. We have someone from Australia join us, John?
Yes, we usually do.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been there a few times. I say good morning.
Yes.
I try to get my brother in Sydney to phone into these a few times, but he never really bothers.
Yes. It's already tomorrow there.
Yeah.
Yeah, how is Saturday going to be?
Yes.
10:44
Yeah.
Saturday morning.
It is Saturday morning, yes, but it's a chilly Saturday morning. So we're heading into winter now.
Oh,
Yeah,
we're-
according to mine, which I have the degrees set to Fahrenheit, it's 64 degrees and cloudy right now.
Where
And
are you,
it's
John?
10:44, yeah.
Where are you in Australia?
Well, I'm not in Australia.
I'm
My
just-
brother lives near,
No,
let me
I'm
think,
asking John, our guy.
along the North Shore,
I was asking John, our guy who's from Australia. What,
oh, sorry.
where are you?
Okay. Yes, just south of Sydney,
Okay.
Oh,
near Mittagong. Been over here 22 years now, so we're a newcomer.
now my brother's north. I'm trying to think of the name along the North Shoreline.
Darwin?
Brian Bay.
Nah, no. I mean, well within the Sydney metro area.
Oh, okay.
White Tara might be something like that.
Oh,
Normanhurst is what I used to think of, but he's actually at Warunga. Any of those ring any bells?
no,
Oh. Well, it's south of Hornsby,
okay.
which
no.
I kind of think of as the farthest north of on that particular line of the Sydney metropolitan area.
Have you been over there, Chris?
Several times, like,
Yeah.
I don't know how many, 6 or 7. Yeah.
Come your brother went over for work or just,
Oh, just because Bradleys have to get together. You got to go a long way to find other people like me. So, yeah.
No, what did he go there for? Is he working there?
Oh, he's lived there all his life.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah. We're a very spread out family.
I guess.
Yeah.
you're not from there, right?
Nah.
No, I didn't think so. Okay.
At least you get a lot of frequent flyer miles.
When I did, yeah, like one round trip, and I had, well, like about 20,000 miles in my account.
Have you been tram chasing in Melbourne?
I was never in Melbourne. The city I ever went to was Canberra, which I really enjoyed. I haven't been there since the light rail opened, though. And I think of that city as just living history. But I guess I read too much about it because a lot of other people aren't that impressed. It's a planned city, deliberately built to be the national capital. Has some similarity to Washington. It was designed by an American architect who was a Frank Lloyd Wright. How do you say? He worked for Frank Lloyd Wright before he went off on his own. Walter Burley Griffin. And what's funny is, I think virtually every Australian has heard of Walter Burley Griffin, but the only Americans who seem to have heard of Pierre Charles L'Enfant are people who live around the Washington area. And yet basically they've played the same role in their country's history, laying out the planned national capital.
The other one that's like that was very, totally planned was Brasilia.
Yes. Yeah.
Though it's huge now.
Yeah. Yeah, much bigger than Canberra.
Yeah. And probably bigger than Washington too, population wise and wise.
And a fairly extensive subway system.
Yeah, it's a good rail fanning destination, apparently.
Yeah. And the irony is too, Brasilia, of the 3 cities we just mentioned, Brasilia is by far the newest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Canberra was founded around 1911 or so.
Yeah, Brasilia around 1960.
Yeah.
No.
Good evening, Bruce Battles.
Hi, hi, Rich.
How are you?
Good. How's it going?
It's gone peachy. How are things in the Bay Area?
Well, it's warm. Got any rain you can send us?
We were supposed to get the works last night, rain, tornadoes, and didn't
Well,
turn
you
into
skip the
anything.
tornadoes, but
Yeah,
we'll pay top price for some good rain.
yeah,
That tornado in Bucks County.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Northern Bucks got it.
Hmm?
Northern Bucks County, I forget the name of the little town.
Yeah.
A little
Yeah,
bit
look.
southeast of Allentown got hit.
Hilltown.
What'd you say, Rick?
Hilltown.
Hilltown?
Hilltown, they got hit. I just drove through Hilltown.
Yeah.
Wednesday night, I was in Hilltown.
Good timing.
Yeah.
113 runs through there.
Yes.
I follow waves. I have no idea. Every time I go.
Yeah.
I go to a model railroad club up in Coopersburg,
Yeah.
and then I stay with my sister-in-law. She lives in Chalfont, but it takes me through Hilltown to get to her house.
Yeah, it would. Yeah.
It's a great Mexican restaurant in Chalfont.
What's it called?
Oh, I forget.
Cantina de Mexicana.
No.
Cantina del Chalfont.
Yeah, Casa de Chalfont. No.
Yes.
Let me look it up.
It's a last taco before Doylestown. You're right.
You can make it to Doylestown from there after eating tacos.
I didn't
You have
say
a
how many
diaper on.
stops I'd make.
Las Serapes.
Mm.
Common spelling.
LOSSARAPES.
Okay.
Rapis.
Mm. Me too.
Can I ask a dumb
If you have the
question?
margaritas there, you better not walk home because you better drive home because you're in no shape to walk.
What's that paint job on that yellow PCC there? I'm curious about that.
Banana car.
What is that? That's what?
That's the banana car. It was one of the cars. They were trying different paint schemes, and that car got the banana car. Call it the
Yeah.
banana car.
That was before they settled on the Gulf oil scheme.
Yeah.
I'll be darned. I never saw that before.
Yeah.
Looks good.
There was only one or two of them with it.
It was only the one. It was only 2168 got the yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there was other cars. They had other paint schemes.
They had a like a powder blue on one.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
Yeah. They did one with like a turquoise blue and they did the
about-
gold.
Yeah, they did a couple of gold. They were like the rebuilds were gold.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
all the
see,
buses
what you
were
call,
gold.
see, what they did, they painted 4 buses in different colors. One was like a dark blue and red, and one was like a strawberry red. One was like the turquoise, and one was gold. They were going to do a yellow, but I think the yellow didn't work because they wanted to do something quick to like redo everything, and the yellow didn't cover the green very well. So they never brought the one out, but they took the 4 buses down to Broad and Chestnut and had people vote on them. So
Go ahead.
so
I'm
the
sorry.
metallic gold really was striking with the maroon bell. So that's the one that got the votes. But then when they actually started doing cars and buses, I think they got like the next order of buses was done with the gold. They found the metallic color wasn't easy to maintain. So
Right.
then they went with that sort of muddy tan color. There was a,
Okay.
it was supposed to be gold, but it
Jeez.
wasn't. It didn't have the metallic flake.
It was
and that
diarrhea
looked
brown.
awful, yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody told me one time years ago that the one blue, the dark blue bus was blue and white and had a red band, and this was in the late '60s. So most of us would remember what mailboxes looked
Yeah,
like.
that's
and-
Yeah,
exactly
right.
what it looked like. That's
Yeah, and
exactly
they-
what it
it-
looked like. There was
yeah.
I think I remember a PCC that had a sort of blue color scheme in the 1990s with that Center City loop. But I only glanced at it as I was going past something. So I don't know what number it was or any story behind that.
With that, the Route 51, I think that they painted one in silver, but that silver didn't stay. So you might have
Yeah,
seen
that-
the
that's
silver
what
and it
they-
looked blue.
No,
They
no,
were
this
painted
is-
one like the original cars. were, like the
27,
2000s
28.
were.
27, 28.
Was
Was
painted
blue?
what color?
It was silver, it was PTC colors, 1938 PTC.
Yeah,
what some people call the
But they
Philadelphia cream
didn't, of course,
cheese.
they didn't
Yeah.
color it the right way and it faded in no
Yeah,
time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the Philadelphia cream cheese. I thought I remember seeing something with more blue, like what was traditionally green was blue on this car, but I can't. I only.
Twenty-
remember-
2733, but it was a turquoise blue.
Yeah, and they had
Yeah,
one
Okay.
that
there
was
was
sort
one
of
that was
a,
baby blue.
yeah, they had one was sort of a faux red arrow scheme.
Yeah, and the
That was
one with red arrow.
27.99. But
That was
Charles,
later
the
on.
2733 you were talking about, that was back PTC and Decepta. This is not the
Right,
Center
right.
City
It's
loop.
right after SEPTA took
Right.
over.
Yeah. Now Chris was asking about the Center City loop,
Yeah,
and I just remember green and cream,
yeah.
Philadelphia cream cheese, and a red arrow. That's all I remember down there.
Okay.
I got a slide somewhere of a PCC that was baby blue
Yes.
back
there
about
was one.
70 or 71, I think.
Yeah, that was one of the original tryout colors.
Yeah, but that was
I took a
2733.
picture.
It was more like a pale turquoise blue.
Yeah, I took
Yeah.
a picture of that when it was at, I guess at Wyoming, at Second in Wyoming.
I worked for Gulf Oil in the 60s, so when they started painting in that color, I was having flashbacks, but personally, I thought they looked like circus wagons.
Well, I sort of liked it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Traction orange.
Yeah.
Brought back too many
Yeah.
memories for me.
I thought it looked especially nice on the air cars.
Yes, I think it complemented their lines very well.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
always insisted it was actually the colors of West Philadelphia High School.
Oh, really? Is that where you went, Bruce?
That's right.
Okay.
Speed boys,
Okay.
orange and blue.
Any sightings of Steve?
I texted him. I haven't heard back from him. So,
Otherwise, you're in charge
which is scary. But
for all of us.
yeah. So I'm going to wait until 8 o'clock. I'm glad we're getting some more people here.
Yeah.
We were down to just about 20. Now we're up to 2, 4,
25.
25. Yeah.
25, yeah.
Yeah.
I got a question for somebody, if anybody could answer this. And looking at some of the old Philadelphia history pictures, and when you looked at you guys remember the old Passyunk Avenue Bridge was a drawbridge. Usually both sides went up, and only one side ever came down. The 81 car, yeah, that's the truth. I remember the 81 car ended right there at the bridge there by Atlantic Refinery. But in this picture, it shows tracks on the other side of the bridge, going out like what would be Essington Avenue. And there was never any trolley line out there, and I can never understand. You ever look at old history of pictures of Philadelphia, and somebody thought it was the old Penrose Avenue Bridge, which had the car that went from South Philly out to Tinicum, but that's
Yeah,
not
the Southwestern.
No, it's not the South. Yeah, I know what you're saying, but that's not the bridge. The old Southwestern Bridge was one that turned in the center.
Yeah.
And that's the one that Gulf Oil ship knocked down. But this here, if you ever see any old pictures, I meant to ask Andy McGinnis, he probably would know. The tracks weren't embedded in the street. They were actually above one ties. It was like a temporary type thing. I don't know if they were taking trash out there or what. I don't know.
No idea.
What the heck it was.
No idea.
Yeah, you ever look at old pictures of
Yeah.
Philly?
Yeah, the only picture I have of that is an 81 car at the end of the line.
Yeah, at the end, yeah. Yeah, if you remember when they put the concrete barrier up and there was nothing to come down, there was nothing to come down past Elk Avenue and find a car up on the thing. You know,
Yeah.
ran up on an automobile that ran up on it. I remember coming from my grandmother. She lived on Broad Street and we used to come home that way.
Yeah, my mother always called that the cemetery bridge.
That's the bridge.
Was that cemetery bridge? Because that would be the route you would take to go from South Philadelphia to Holy Cross Cemetery and
Okay.
RV8.
Maybe, yeah.
So my mother always called that the cemetery bridge.
Yeah, that or you'd go over the old Grace Ferry Avenue Bridge. Got to hold your nose as you went by Barrett's asphalt. That's the one the 36 and the 12 ran over.
Yeah, I'm looking to see if I can find
Charlie, you said your mom never forgave Maras either, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, she wouldn't go there because I think she saw a roach there in 1941.
Can I ask a question before things get going here?
Sure.
Michael Junod, in the background of your picture there, is that Peter Witt car? Yeah, 81, 80. Isn't
Yeah.
there one of those that's still running? What's the latest on that? I got a video of it. 88, 59 or what, a high number?
85, 34 sitting up at Scranton.
It doesn't run?
And then the other one is 8042 is out at Pennsylvania Trolley Museum. That's being refurbed.
It's under active restoration. Yeah.
Yeah, and the other one's up in right off the turnpike. The third one's right off the turnpike, the private owner.
Oh, yeah, 8530.
Or something like that, or 8532, 8032 or something like that, I think it is.
But there was one that one time it ran, I got a video of it running all over Philadelphia.
Yeah, they were. when
Yeah,
they-
8534. Yeah.
Yeah.
When they used to have that trolley festival in
Yeah.
October, they would run it.
Yeah.
That's the one that's in Scranton now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's sitting outside.
Oh, boy, it's nice sounding car, boy.
How about 8042? Whatever happened to that?
That's one in down in Pittsburgh.
That's at PTM being restored right now.
Oh,
It is
okay.
undercover.
Yeah, because that's wide, seeing it's the right gauge, more or less.
Yeah. Both of those cars sat down at Tansboro for years, and then I don't know if they ever went to Jobstown, but they ended up when I was working for Pico, they ended up in an old generating station there at Peach and Palmer Street by Penn Treaty Park. I'll never forget it because I walked in.
Yeah.
They're at the end of both plants are these two, the other two trolleys, 8042 and 8534. I felt like they were following me around.
'Cause I remember in 1980 when they got the RTS buses, which were numbered in the 8000 series. One of my wise guys' proposals, which I wasn't really serious about, was to advertise a charter trip on 8042.
Wise guy.
Hey, Charlie, can you give me a share screen for a second?
That's me. I'll do that.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
right. Mike has control. He's the host for this.
Okay.
You're the host, Michael. Where's the donuts?
Yeah. Okay. Allow record multiple pin. Good. I'm trying to figure out where is the
Yeah.
okay, participants. Come on. Okay.
Yeah, if you can't, done. I was just going to show some pictures I just pulled
I
up
think
from
you
the
have
internet.
to make it just, I think I've always picked the thing where it just makes everybody able to share.
Yeah, I'm trying to. And that's that's down at the bottom, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have it's coming up, host disabled participant sharing. So,
Okay, okay. Okay, can you try it now?
okay, good. So this is a 2165. Here's one of the gold ones.
Yeah.
That's got air conditioning.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that put the air conditioning.
I think there were like 3 gold ones. They had carpeting, they had like bus type seats in them. You know, they were basically, you know, that metallic gold with red and, you know, white over that color.
And the
Yeah, I
nicest
think they
track
put the
was,
air conditioning in, but I think the equipment weighed so much that basically they took it out, that the brakes wouldn't stop the car.
and the nicest tracklesses they ever had.
Oh, the Marmon Harrington?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what that looked like. Here is another
That's the
gold
gold
one.
one. Yeah.
But I'm not
Yaden.
sure if that's gold or I just saw that out there because there was some cream and one of them was like both the top and bottom looked almost exactly the same. They used to think they
Yeah,
called
well,
it
that was like
coffee
that by
with
the-
2 shots of cream or something like that.
But the 77 was the metallic gold.
Okay,
That was
gold
done, I
also.
think that was done the same time as 2733 in the
Okay,
turquoise.
And that's at Yaden Loop.
yeah.
Yeah, 2159 was the first gold car, and I think 2176 was the other gold car.
Okay. Yeah, but then there was also like a brown and
Well, see,
like,
then they found the metallic gold was difficult to maintain. So then they went to just the plain paint. There was like that tan color.
Which we just saw.
yeah. And here's the welcome line. Here's your 2799 done up like a red arrow.
You guys,
And
you guys remember the snowstorm, the heavy snowstorm we had in Philly back in the 90s? They put these cars in regular service. I remember 2799 running the 34.
oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's a 2728. I was looking for another one. There's another photo out there for Chris Bradley where this really faded and looked almost blue.
Hmm.
Yeah. And there's a better copy of the banana car, 2168.
That looks good.
Yeah.
like that.
I like this color. I really do. I think
It's
I
now in the Gulf Orange scheme at the
Right.
Baltimore Museum.
I think the Gulf Orange scheme looks really good on the air cars because it follows. But I think for the all electric, I like this scheme here. Maybe have a blue belt rail. I don't know, but so yeah, I can't find one. I was looking. I did see one earlier. That
Hey,
yeah.
Thank you.
So, okay,
Yeah.
so
Thanks.
I don't know. I haven't heard from Steve, so I don't know what's up with our president. If he's a Friday night, if he's out or what. But I'd like to start the meeting. What I would like to do is I would like to go right into the show. Mike, if you're ready, and that way, while you're tabulating the votes, then we can talk about the meeting. And Rich Allman's going to show us a couple videos of a couple projects that he's working on or had worked on. So, without anything further, Mike.
Okay, very good. Let me get the show here. Okay. Share. Okay. Why is this not coming? There we go. So, everybody see that okay?
Yes.
Okay. Welcome to the 2022 edition of the East Bend Traction Club photo contest. For those of you who participated last year, the process is exactly the same, just the photos are different. But I'll still, for those, some of you who weren't here last year or don't remember how we voted last year, I'll once again go through just a practice of voting. The only reason why I do that is that the polling process that Zoom does only allows 10 selections per question. And some categories we have more than 10 photos. So there are 2 questions and you have to answer both questions, you know, one which is 1 to 10 and the other one is greater than 10. So you'll see that as we go through. But these are the 11 categories. This year we have entries in all categories. Last year we did not have any in Group G night. The entries were put in as I received them. And it was the category that was selected by the submitter. They've basically been put in to fit a PowerPoint presentation. So it's the best fit possible. It generally comes out pretty good, but in some cases it might have in a picture, or some cases might have enlarged it. And to reiterate, this is supposed to be not a particular photo contest, but one based on the skill of the photographer. In other words, composition, sharpness, exposure, originality, and then the subject should be the lowest. The way we go through this is that I'll go through each of the pictures one time, 10 seconds per photo, and that's a timer that's set into the PowerPoint program. So it's 10 seconds and 10 seconds and 10 seconds. And then we'll go through a second time. So it'd be handy to have, and in some cases we do have, you know, more than 10 photos. So you might want to keep a piece of paper handy to jot down the number of a likely photo or something like that. There is a number that appears briefly in the upper right corner of the photo, and then it disappears, so it doesn't otherwise impact the picture. And then after we go through it a second time, we'll vote. And then when it's time to vote, there's a screen that'll come up there, and I'll start the Zoom poll, and it'll come up with a screen that kind of looks like that. You know, it's going to be the best photo, in this case, Trolleys on Mars or whatever. And, you know, you've already selected your picture, you know, which one, 1 through 5, and you'll just click on that circle, and that will, and then you click on the submit, and that submits your vote. And as I said, in some categories, there's more than 10 entries. And so there are 2 questions. You have to answer both questions in order to cast your vote. The first one will have up to 9, and then none of the above. And the second question will have 10 and above, or none of those. As I said, you have to answer both questions. So here's a situation, selections 1 through 9. Sometimes the window isn't big enough. There's a little scroll bar on the right side that allows you to scroll down to see the rest of it, plus the second question. So what you have to do is, say if you want to pick number 11, you select 11 on question 2, and you select not 1 to 9 on question 1. That way you've voted in both questions, and then you hit submit. If you haven't voted in both questions, when you hit submit, nothing will happen. So you need to vote on both. I get to see how many folks have voted, so I can kind of tell when the number stops going up that everybody who wanted to vote has voted, and then I'll end the poll. Generally, we give up to about 2 minutes, but if it looks like everybody has said their piece, we might end it sooner. The voting is anonymous. I just see the number of votes. I don't see who voted for what. As was mentioned earlier, if there is more than one member at the same location. You need to be logged in on 2 different machines. There's only 1 vote per login. So if you have a phone or something like that, that you can log in on separate from the computer. Doesn't matter what you watch the picture on, it's just where you vote from. So, I'll be muting everybody during this so to kind of keep the comments down so it doesn't impact, influence folks. When you're muted, folks probably are aware of this by now. We've been doing Zoom for a while, but your space bar is a press to talk button. So if you're in the mute mode and you want to say something, desperately need to say something, just hold your space bar down and talk. And then when you're done talking, let it go. Also, it would be convenient and conserve bandwidth, although we're not sending video right now. If you turn your camera off, your video from your computer, so that you just see the slide, and it kind of conserves bandwidth. So we're going to
Michael.
Yes, sir.
And a point of information: visitors and non-members are invited to vote too.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
everyone's logged in is welcome to vote.
I was gonna ask, okay.
Yes, please. It's like to have as much participation as possible. So that's what makes it fun. So
All right.
it's so we're gonna just practice the voting here just to see how it goes. So what I'm going to do is where am I at here? Keep that, and then okay. Where am I? Oh, here it is. Okay, never mind. All right. That's the one thing I forgot from last year. So. Okay, there we go. And up here is, okay, so polls. So we're going to launch this poll and pick a number, any number. This is just a random poll. Just practice kind of clicking on things. And right now I see about 18, 19 of 25 folks are 20, 21. So right now it seems like photo 3 is the popular number, which there is no. So, and at this point it looks like 21 or 25 and it's kind of set there. So I would just end the poll. And in this case, I'll write down the numbers for later. And now what we're going to do is practice this is the one where you have more than 10 choices. So you're going to have to answer both questions. So this is so there's two questions here. You have to select one from question 1 and one, pick a number. If it's 5, you have to vote 5 on the first question, and then not 10 through 15 on the second question. So I see people are getting that. Yep.
My submit button is still grayed out, even though I made a selection.
If it's grayed out, that means you haven't selected on both questions.
Well, right, because I'm only at the first one.
Right. So if you selected something on the first question, you have to, if you selected 1 through 9, then on question 2, you have to submit not 10 to 15.
Yeah, but I can't get to the second one.
Scroll down.
On the right side, there's a scroll bar. The right side of the box, there's a little gray scroll bar. Use that to scroll down.
Oh, I see. I thought that would be a second screen. Okay, thank you.
No problem. It's not real obvious. This certainly could have a little better.
Which is why we're practicing. Thank you.
Not a problem. That's why I figured rather than have to go through this. So.
It's because you're wearing suspenders, Chris.
Okay.
So, okay, it looks like everybody's, and end the poll here. And then who's the big winner on this one here? The lucky number. We can play it on a lottery tonight. looks like it was 12 was the popular number on that one. So,
That was a good one. Yeah.
so, okay, so let me get back to, so we're going to start the first category here, if everybody's ready. Have a piece of paper to write down your favorite slide number. As I said, first time we're going to go through, it's 10 seconds a slide. And then we're going to go back through it a second time, 5 seconds a slide, and then we're going to vote. So there are 11 entries, so it'll be the two-part voting on this category. So if everybody's ready, here we roll. That's number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. Number 9. Number 10. And number 11. Okay, so that's the end of the first time through. Now we'll go through the second time. 5 seconds a slide. Once again, number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. Number 9. Number 10. And number 11. Okay, so that's the end of category A, SEPTA. And now it's time to vote. So here we go. Here we go. I'm showing 3 folks who haven't voted yet. Give it a few more seconds. Okay. Let me.
Hey, Mike, can we ask everybody but you to put themselves on mute?
I was going to do that in a second here.
Thank you.
You can do it, I think, Michael, can't you?
Yeah, I can. I'm jotting down results right now. Okay. And okay, let me okay. And I think everybody's on mute now. Okay. So now the next category is category B, which is pre-SEPTA. There are 5 entries in this group, so it'll just be a one poll at the end of this. So we're going to go through the 10 seconds a slide version first. Here's slide 1, picture 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. And we'll go through that again, 5 seconds a slide worth. Here we go. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. And oh, sorry, I don't know how that worked. Sorry, that was a mistake. Let me interrupt here for a second. Just give number 5 a chance. That was a glitch. Here's number 5 again, which should be number 5. Sorry. So here we go. No matter how much you go through here, you miss some things. Sorry about that. Okay, and it's time to vote. So we'll here we go. With just one question, everybody's much faster at voting here. So looks like everybody is just about done here. So there's one more. Okay. Going once, going twice. Boom. Okay. By the way, the categories that the slides are in, it looks like if some of the slides maybe could have been in different categories, is what was selected by the submitter. So if they gave it to me in category A, that's went in the category A. That's not my choice, it's their choice. So that's where they went. Okay. Category C, other US, Canada, contemporary. There are 10 entries, so there's just one question. Here's slide one, picture one. Number two. Number three. Number four. Number five. Number six. Number seven. Number eight. Number nine. And number 10. Okay, that's the end of the first pass. Let's go through it again. 5 seconds a picture. Number one. Number two. Number three. Number four. Number five. Number six. Number seven. Number eight. Number nine. And number 10. Okay. And it's time to vote. So seems like we're just about done with voting here. Let's give it a couple more seconds. Going once, going twice. Okay, let me jot down the results here. Okay. Our next category is other US and Canada before 1976. 4 entries in this category. Number one. Number two. Number 3. Number 4. And that's the first time through. We'll go through it a second time. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. And that's that for category D. Once again, time to vote. And off they go. And that was pretty quick. I think everybody is just about done voting. Going once, going twice. Okay. Okay. And the next category, foreign. 4 entries in the foreign category. And here we go. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. And we'll go through that again. Second time, 5 seconds a picture. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Okay, and time to vote. Off they go. And reporting from Election Central here, we can tell you we were ready to call the state of Arizona. No. Okay. Okay. Looks like everybody has said their piece pretty much. We're saying going once, going twice. Boom. Okay. Then next group, snow. I don't know, that's my favorite category. I think everything looks better in snow. But anyhow, we have 7 entries in snow. And here we go with the 10-second of photo. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Okay. We'll go through this second time. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. And number 7. Okay, time to vote. Okay, it looks like everybody has said their piece. We'll go going once and going twice and boom. Okay. Right. Our next category is night. There are 4 entries in this category. Number 1.
That looks like models.
Number 2. I believe they are. Number 3. And number 4. Night. And the second time through, number 1. Number 2. Number 3. And number 4. You know, time to vote. Okay. It's interesting is that the participation from group to group goes up and down like one, like there's a person that abstains in certain groups. It's interesting. Sometimes we have 24, sometimes we have 23 folks voting. So Kind of interesting. Okay, it looks like everyone has said their piece. So going once, going twice, bang. Okie dokie, Smoky. Hey, our next group is heavy rapid transit. I don't know, as opposed to light rapid transit, but and we have 5 entries in this group. And here's number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Okay, we'll go through that again one more time. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Okay. Time to vote. Here we go. You know. Okay, looking like voting is pretty much done here. So going once, going twice. Okay. Now we'll go on to category I, mainline electric. There are 8 entries in this category. And here we go. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Not sure what happened here. Why am I stuck? Come on. So wait a minute. Number 3. Sorry. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. number 8. Okay, we'll go through it once again. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, and number 8. Okay. And off we go. Okay. Looks like just about everyone has voted here, so going once, going twice. Okay. All right. Category J, Museum and Heritage. There are 12 entries in this category, so we'll have the 2-part voting when we do the poll. So lots of photos, pay attention. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. Number 9. Number 10. Number 11. And number 12. Okay, we're going to go through those again. 5 seconds a picture. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8, number 9, number 10, number 11, and number 12. Okay, and it's time to vote. Once again, there are 2 questions here. You got to answer both questions. Okay, it looks like everyone has said their piece here, going once, going twice. Okay. Okay, and our last category, category K, is model, and it has 14 entries. Obviously, we're a model group, and we like to take pictures of our models. So here we go. There's a lot of photos here, and off we go. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. Number 9. Number 10. Number 11. Number 12. Number 13. Number 14. Okay, we're gonna go through one more time, 5 seconds a slide. Here we roll. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. Number 9. Number 10. Number 11. Number 12. Number 13. And number 14. Oh, that didn't belong in there. Sorry about that. And category K, that's the end. We're going to vote. Once again, there are 2 questions. Answer both questions. Okay, getting close here. Okay. All righty. Going once. Going twice. Okay. Okay, so that's the end of the slide contest. Thank you all for watching and voting. Let me unmute everybody here. No.
Mike, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, how much time do you need to tabulate and announce?
Give me about 10 minutes or so.
Okay, I'm going to ask Dr. Allman. Rich, are you ready to show your little video presentation? Rich, you're on mute.
Yeah, I'm trying to unmute everybody.
Problem I have is minimizing my screen so I can get.
Okay, let me stop screen. Let me stop. Did I stop sharing yet? I think I did. Maybe not.
I still see your contest stuff.
There we go.
There you go.
Okay, let me let me, okay. Rich, you should be able to share now.
Yeah, but Rich, you said you need to minimize, so while you're.
No,
while
no,
you're
no, just start off with the business meeting, Tom, and I'll get to it.
Okay, so the first thing I want to ask is Charlie Long, can you hear me? Charles, you're on mute.
Okay.
Okay, we were invited out, and Charlie, maybe you reached out to the gentleman.
Yes.
Our May 6th meeting, we were looking to do an in-person meeting the same way we did Cherry Valley back in January or February, where we were invited to a club. The club is out in eastern Lancaster County. So some of us are thinking going out there, and I just wanted to put it out there to see if anybody else would be interested in going out to the club. So Charles, could you talk a little bit about the Spot Village Train
and
Club?
Charlie Hens, who is joining us here tonight.
Oh, Charlie, you're here. I'm sorry. I would ask you.
He invited us. Yeah.
Oh, there you are, Charlie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Charlie Hens, can you tell us a little bit about your club?
Yes, we're at Garden Spot Village. We have a club, 28 members, and we live in a retirement community. We have a website in case you wanted to preview our layout that we have. We have both the O gauge and HO layout, and we have trolleys on both. We've incorporated a subway elevated line in both. And the O gauge is an RDC train that goes around in the on the layout. And our HO has 2 3-car trains running simultaneously and stopping at 4 stations, all under a Arduino microprocessor control. What else do you need to know? We're in New Holland, Pennsylvania, about 30 miles west of Philadelphia. It takes about an hour and a quarter for me to get down to the airport.
Yeah.
For travel time. Would be happy to have you if you're interested.
What was your website?
The website is GSG for Garden Spot Village. That's gsvtrainclub.org. And if you can find that, or just, Garden Spot Village, just put in Train Club in any search engine and it should come up okay.
Yeah.
Charlie, coming from Philly, what's the best way to get off the turnpike? Would that be Downingtown or Morgantown?
Morgantown, I believe.
Morgantown, and then you're about 15 minutes away from us, from Morgantown.
Yeah, so it's really not that far.
But it's very nice of you to ask us out. I know we had a little meeting last night, the board of directors, and some of us are interested in going out, and we would like to do it like we did with Cherry Valley, where we would have the meeting, but at the same time, our president, Steve Smith, last time at Cherry Valley with his cell phone, he was able to walk around, and for the presentation part of the meeting, we were able to show the layout. So thank you very much, Charlie, for inviting us out there.
Very good. If we could have some idea of how many people might be coming, that would be helpful to near the time of the event.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions of Charlie?
It'd be hard to say how many are coming if it's raining or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's understandable.
I think
What
you
about
said the
parking?
one room accommodates 40 people, so I think that's good. I don't think we're going to have 40 people. I think we're going to have fewer than that. So
yes. Is there a minimum? Is there a minimum, Charlie?
No, not at all.
Oh,
We'll
good.
be
Well,
here
good
no
then.
matter who shows up.
Yes. Well, good then. Thank you. Okay. Um, okay, moving on with the business while Mike's still tabulating. Do we have any hobby news? Anybody? Rich?
Yeah, I guess the big thing is Volkmar's Atlantic City and Shore HO car is ready to be purchased. And I think George Huckabee is going to do decals for it. So takes the Bowser Drive.
Yeah, so for those that were on earlier, there was some discussion between me and Rich and a couple other members on a book, Trolleys to the Boardwalk. And that was all started because of Volkmar's Sure Fast Line car. So that's what that was about. I asked Brian Wiseman to come on tonight. I don't think he could make it, but he does have some drives, and you can reach out to him. And he's also doing a production price for the ex-Kansas City PCCs that Bowser is doing. So you can, he's not online, so he can't give his spiel, but you could reach out to Brian Weissman, at Jason Poles. Anybody else with hobby news? Okay, go ahead, Jim Boylan. Jim, you're on mute.
Press the space bar.
Now you put, yeah. Can you hear it? Jim, can you talk? Jim, you're not coming through. You're not coming through. Okay, we'll try Jim once, twice. Jim, can you hear us? I'm hearing some background. Okay. Well, while Jim's trying to figure that out, we'll keep moving it along. Any other hobby news before prototype news? Okay, prototype news. Any prototype news?
Well, like I said, the PCC car is in service, and I gather you knew about the Green Line extension.
Tell
That's
us a
all.
little bit about it for those that weren't on the meeting at 7 p.m.
Okay. The car 3265 has been converted from a conventional PCC car to IGBT propulsion system. They're identical to the ones they have in El Paso, and it's similar to the Von Dullen cars they have down in New Orleans. So basically, it's just they just kept the body, gutted it, started over. Supposed to be 8 of them eventually, but it could take a few years for them to finish. And so, I mean, the reliability is off the charts. That's what they really need. So, so far, so good. Okay.
Okay. Rich, are you about to go?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody have anything before Rich shows his videos of what he's been working on? Okay, Rich, it's all yours then. You're on mute, Rich.
Let me unmute and let me share the screen. Okay, let me just show you. This is a car that I just finished with some help from Bob. It's it was one of Volkmar's ex Aurora, Elgin, and Fox River cars that was sold to Shaker Heights in 1936, and they ran there. Several of them ran until 1955 when the Cleveland Rapid opened, And they were really too slow to run there. And in addition, they weren't compatible with the signals. So Cleveland Transit System sort of split the cost with them and bought 5 Twin City PCCs to replace them. But they served almost 20 years in Cleveland.
Rich, not seeing your desktop.
You're not?
No.
No.
Oops.
Down at the bottom, share screen.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to hit the other share function. Are you seeing it now?
See your desktop.
Okay. All right. Let me go back to okay. We'll start over. Give me 1 sec. Okay. So this is at the Pennsylvania crossing on my layout. Car has a Bowser drive in it. The decals were made by Circus City. They did a nice job on them.
Richard said jumping like it did last night. So what I'm going to suggest everybody to go off screen. That might help with the bandwidth here.
This off screen mean.
Stop your video.
Stop your video. Yes, thank you.
What do you mean by off screen?
That's
Just
when
turn
you
your
stop the
video off.
video.
Turn your
So hold the
video
band-
off, Jim.
Oh, I see. Stop video.
Should I try it again?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
So with no added weight in it, you can see it climbs to 4% grade. Three of these cars were preserved, actually. There's one at IRM. There's one at the Fox River Trolley Museum, and there's one other one that's preserved somewhere.
Northern Ohio Railway Museum.
Okay, thank you. Let me get the next one. And this is approaching Keystone Junction. And then there's one other one. And George Chasen should recognize this. This is Seaver Street Loop on the north edge of Franklin Park in Boston. These cars typically didn't visit there. And I put another Cleveland car there so the new car wouldn't feel homesick. That's all I got.
Very good.
Very nice.
Very nice.
And let me just speak a little bit about what Rich did for those who have access to Trolleyville Times, trolleyville.com. The recent issue does have Rich talking about the history of the car and some shots of the car being built by Richard. Let me just share my screen for a second.
I got some help with it from Rich Kryzak, who he's done a program on Cleveland for PTM recently. And his father was a Shaker Heights motorman. Rich himself is the recently retired chief operating officer at MARTA.
So can you see what I'm showing here, Richard?
Yeah.
Yes.
Car 303 has an interesting story, the one up there. When it was at the Aurora, Elgin, and Fox River, a circus came to town and it crashed into a herd of elephants. So one end was destroyed, but it was rebuilt, and that's actually one of the surviving cars.
It's 304. Here's the model. This is Shapeways, right? Not Shapeways, some Volkmer 3D printing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, this was Volkmar. He did it on his own 3D printer.
Yeah.
And that's the drive with a piece of PC board cemented to the top of the motor, and with a wire, a 0.025 wire soldered to the top, and that swipes the pole bushing to power the car.
Okay.
And those are just a couple of shots on the layout.
Rich, can you hear me?
I can.
Yeah, who painted that Cleveland PCC? That looks good.
It does. It was done commercially by Bowser. No credit there.
Oh, it comes like that?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll be darned. No, I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Okay. And the other thing I want to show you is talking about Volkmer is this was part of the story, earlier stories that we were talking tonight. And there's the Sure Fast Line car. He painted that, and there's been discussion on what's the best way to paint versus decal this car. He painted this, Volkmer painted the car.
He did the bow ties. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Rich, you're talking about working with George Huckabee on getting decals for this car. What decals are you looking at, or is that still up in the air?
Well, you certainly need the Atlantic City, Ocean City things for the side. Some of the cars had an arrow up in the letterboard with a Sure Fast Line through the arrow. And then there's 6 sets of numerals for each car, and then destination signs. George has talked about doing the bow ties, orange things that you could decal onto there. The only issue with that might be matching the orange.
Yeah.
With painting. And I think Charlie, we had discussed this by email last night, sort of feels that to paint it is a doable undertaking.
Yeah, just mask it. See, and I think what Volkmar did, he sprayed the car with the cream.
Yeah.
And then masked it and brush painted the orange.
Yeah.
I would sort of suggest spraying both the cream and the orange. And usually what the thing is you paint like the whole car of cream, then you put masking tape and you mask out the areas that stay cream. And then you give it another light coat of cream. So anything that's going to seep under the masking or so would be the cream. And then once that masking is sealed, then you give a spray paint of the orange. And then when you pull the masking off, you should get a sharp line.
Yeah. Volkmar, he said he had to do it a few times to get it right.
Yeah.
But yeah.
See, and then the numbering, the lettering is black. And I think those numbers, to me, I think that's some of the Pennsylvania Railroad influence. It looks like that lettering font that the Pensy used.
Yeah. And
It's Clarendon, yeah.
yeah, and John Kennedy, who sort of started this whole project, actually has a sheet with the artwork that, I can provide to George or whoever is going to.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, because it's very straightforward, but there were a number of variations, as you can see there. Some of the cars had Atlantic City on a semicircle. Some of it was just horizontal.
There's the sure fast line arrow. There is no sure fast line arrow.
And then
Here's
some
your
had it
6
right-
numbers.
Yeah, and some had it right, had that arrow on the letterboard, Tom, right in the center of the side of the car.
Yeah.
So you have to sort of figure out the car you're going to do, and particularly if you're going to have sleepless nights because you got the wrong arrow configuration on it.
But I think, what is it? They had 20 cars painted 24 different ways or something like that.
Yeah, well, yeah, there were what were there? 17 coaches, 2 combines, and a parlor car, which was originally a funeral car. But the funeral car turned out to be a dead business, and no one. It wasn't used like the hillside.
bad.
Yeah,
I mean, the hillside here, I think, was used constantly. I understand my great grandmother had her last ride in it.
Did these cars have, is this 27E trucks?
I don't know.
It's hard to tell. I'm just curious.
I think in the description, I think Volkmar says he provides the right side frames.
Correct. Here it is.
With
Here it
this.
is on Trolley Talk.
Yeah.
27E truck frames with third rail beams.
Those look like MCBs.
Oh, dear.
Well, I like to get.
Some people do. So yeah.
No, get it accurate.
Okay.
Here's a question about that funeral car. The cemetery was beyond the junction at Pleasantville. That is, the cemetery was on the West Jersey and Seashore. So did the funeral car run off its route to get to the cemetery?
Maybe that's why it went out of business, Jim, because it didn't get to the cemetery and they just dumped the casket off and see what happens. I had no idea. It was not like Hillside, which went right up into Hillside Cemetery.
Guys, I just want to let you know, I did put the winners in. I have to help Peg for about 5 minutes and I'll be right back, and then we'll go through the winners. So give me 5 more minutes and I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Huh.
But it's a nice thing that Volkmar has done.
So Rich, if you want one of these, you get it from him?
Yeah.
Okay. I
Yeah.
might get one.
I'm going to get 2 of them because one of our founding members, Dave Cope, if I didn't have a 2-car train, he'll turn over in his grave. And
We don't want that.
no, he was too important a figure in East Penn's history. So.
And the other thing you were talking about, 24 cars with 24 different paint schemes.
20 cars.
Or 20 cars, yes. Some of the cars were originally wooden side cars. And not all of them, but most of them did receive metal sides. So the question is, if you're going to do one of these cars, did it ever receive a metal side?
Well, the car, the model that Volkmar has made is the steel car.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had asked him because he made the floor for the Bowser Drive, but he said he can make a floor for a dummy drive, for a 2-car train, for a dummy floor, where you just put 2 non-powered.
Just an off the wall question. Did the wood and the steel, did that have something to do with the jerseys came down in 1949 and said no more wood cars?
No, because they did that, I think, during the 20s and 30s. They started rebuilding the cars.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I'm just curious because that
Because
doesn't happen.
as it was, what happened, right? They had to paint them every 2 years, apparently, wood cars and salt air are not a good combination.
Okay.
And they ran over the salt water before the, for those that aren't familiar.
Except when it flooded and they ran in it. Yeah.
Yeah. For those that aren't familiar with this, what a neat line it was. I read about it, I don't know how many years ago, and I always thought I would like to have one of these models. It ran from Atlantic City to Ocean City, but it went via the mainland, as we call it down here, the mainland. It went out Ocean City out to Absecon and then went along the mainland, not on the island of Absecon, where Atlantic City, Ventnor, and Margate is, got to Summers Point, and then from Summers Point went over this really long trestle into Ocean City. So it went from island to island, but it was a big like U shape.
Yeah.
But it basically crossed the tidal marshes, I guess, going from the island to the mainland and then back to the other island.
Especially leaving Absecon Island, leaving Atlantic City. Yeah.
Yeah, but getting to Ocean City, they for navigation, it would have gone over the inland waterway.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
When I was a little guy, I can remember, never saw the cars, but I remember the tracks in the street. They were still in the street when I was little in Atlantic City.
Yeah, I remember seeing tracks on Virginia Avenue going right up to the boardwalk.
Yeah. The cars were long gone, but the rail was still there in the street.
Was that the Atlantic City traction, or was that
probably what was the same company? It was originally owned by Pennsylvania Railroad, and then a consortium, including Grace Kelly's father, bought the company, and it became Atlantic City Transportation Company in 1945.
Yeah. No, I remember the trolleys in Atlantic City, the cream and black ones, but the cars here there were streets where they didn't run, but there were still rails in the street, and I never could figure out what it was until I realized later there was a Shore Fast Line, and that was the rails from them.
Because it ran from Atlantic Avenue to the boardwalk along Virginia Avenue.
Virginia Avenue, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, some of the route was also railroad sidings to get to Convention Hall.
Yeah.
So those tracks lasted past the end of passenger service.
If it's that I know of, the bridge in Pleasantville that crossed the I don't know if it was the White Horse Pike or the Black Horse.
Black Horse Pike.
Still exists. It's still there.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's still there. Yeah, good. It's where they it's right after they went it was I think the third, well, how the heck was it?
Was it a concrete bridge?
Third rail that stood two overheads there somewhere.
It's a through girder bridge, like Lionel.
Yeah.
Yeah, they raised the poles right past Pleasantville Station.
Yeah, that's where it was. That's where the bridge is at.
Yeah.
It's right by there. It
Yeah,
curves.
I'm going to share my screen again just to show you a look. This is the best map I can get right now on it.
Till your book arrives.
No, just funny. Can you see the screen?
No.
No. There it is.
No,
There
you.
it is.
Yeah.
So this is Absecon Island, Atlantic City, Ventnor, Margate, Longport. Here, it's not a great, and I can't make it any.
Atlantic Avenue line. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I can make it a little bit bigger. Yeah. So, but here is the Shore Fast Line. Left Atlantic City, went out through the marshes, but over the inland waterway, Pleasantville, Northfield Country Club, Linwood Golf Club, Summers Point, and then again it went through the marshes and over some waterways and the inland waterway into Ocean City.
East of it was a little bit north of the 9th Street Causeway.
Yes, it was 8th Street.
8th Street.
Yeah.
I think going back to where that Pleasantville station is where the old the old West Jersey Insure cars, I think ran the same track from Pleasantville in. But
I believe so. Yes.
And went
And in the very beginning, the electric cars from Camden did run to Ocean City once or twice a day.
Now, I remember Marvin Burgoynis or Burginis. What was the original book, Richard?
Melvin Borgness.
Borgness.
Yes. I remember reading his book 30, 40 years ago, whatever it was, and haven't read it since. But he said, according to his book, is that some of the motormen at nighttime, they would, if you were like the last run, you would just take the car to your house, the closest siding to your house, and leave it there. It wasn't put away in a barn. It was just like left off on the siding.
the electric line, when they cut that back from, well, they cut it out of, they cut it away from Atlantic City, there was a doodle bug that took over and went from Atlantic City up to Mays Landing. I remember that as a kid.
And the Surefast line, I think in 46 or early 47 was cut back to Summers Point. It didn't cross into Ocean City the last year or so of operation.
There was a fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
bridge burned out.
In fact, I've seen pictures where like this part of the bridge burned out and they took it apart, but there was still part of the trestle over the water. So they would take the trolley all the way onto the trestle. I guess
Yeah.
that way nobody would bother the operator in between runs, they would sit out there.
Also, the switch points for the end of double track were actually on the beginning of the trestle.
Okay, so they would have to go out there to come backwards.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
You can follow that, some of that right away now is like a walking trail or something like that, I know. Part of
I'm
it.
going to stop sharing my screen. I see that Mike is back.
Yep, I am.
Okay.
If you want to, I'll let you know what the winners are here. So let me share this. Okay. So as soon as I get the full screen, and the winners are. Okay, so in category A, the winner is Bruce Moffett with his photograph there on the Route 15. Is Bruce with us? Not so.
Where is that?
Not Girard Avenue, I believe.
That is St. Peter's Church in the background there, that steeple.
Okay, so where is it?
I'm thinking that you are looking east.
Yeah.
From maybe like 11th or 12th Street. The only thing that's throwing me off are all these trees in the background there.
Yeah, I was wondering, is it close? Is it like we're across this over the East River Drive, over the Kelly Drive?
No,
Is that a sunset? We're looking west.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but isn't St. Peter's on the south side of Girard? So
Correct.
this is looking west. So this is somewhere.
No, well,
The car's heading.
Charlie,
west.
you're right, but at 9th Street, Girard
Oh, there's
Avenue
that
takes a
curve
bend.
there. Okay, that's
Yeah.
what it is. Yeah, that's right. There's a curve. So you're
And that's a westbound
Yeah.
car, Charlie.
no. So you are looking east. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah, the
thing that's
street
throwing me off
curves
are
there,
those
yeah.
trees. I can't think of where the heck those trees would be.
The only place I could think would be up around Kelly Drive.
We're not watching this bird show again, Chase.
Okay. Okay. All righty. So our congratulations to Bruce in Group A. Now, Group B,
Watch your bird show.
there was a tie, and Harry tied with himself.
Hey, what's wrong tonight, sir? There is a strange man outside our home.
Can someone is talking in the background?
Is it George?
Yes, you.
Hi. This is Harry Penske. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Harry.
Can you guys hear me? Okay, yeah, I took that in August of 1960. It was my second trip to Philadelphia. I was a young kid then. And I rode those old cars and I got a shot of it going around the loop at 69th Street. And I guess that was about the last summer they ran. They were just starting to get the Bud Almond Joys at that time.
They would have been the original cars, the market cars.
Yeah.
They had the cluster roof.
The number over here, the number on the front there is actually the block number, not the car number.
Right. And what's that peeking up there on the right-hand side?
That's P&W. isn't it?
W402.
Yeah.
It looks like a
that's
work car.
a work car.
Yeah.
That's the old terminal.
That's 402, the second-hand car from Eastern Michigan.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was one of the winners. And
Thank
the
you.
winner was this one. Once again, Harry, you tied with your
Tie. All right, that was on an ERA convention fan trip. I believe that was in July of 1973. And that's at Wawa on the Westchester line. As you can see, it was a very hot, humid, hazy day. It was pretty brutal, actually. But thank you anyway.
So congratulations in winning
Thank you.
in Group B. Our winner in Group C is Rich Almond.
Okay, that's at Milton Station in that was Easter weekend, 2008. It was a beautiful March day, unlike yesterday, and we were up. My granddaughter was just a few months old, so we came up as much as we could to see her. And you look at a baby for so long, then it's time to go chase trolleys.
What is that building next to it?
I don't know what that. George, do you know what that building is? There at Milton. There was a tailor shop off to the right where my grandfather had worked.
I'm just curious about that, how the roof sticks out there and whatnot. It's
There's some interesting buildings there in Milton.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike, I was thinking the same thing. I wonder if it's some type of what they call those things that, like in a barn where you have a
loft building of some kind.
Yeah.
That you could like raise things up to the loft.
Yeah, I was figured some way of getting stuff up to the second story.
Oh, yeah, a lot of those buildings are gradually being turned into very upscale condos.
I'm sure.
No. Well, congratulations for winning in Group C, Rich.
Thank you.
And in Group D, once again, Harry.
Oh, yes. That's downtown McKeesport. I took that in August of 1963. And the line was in its last 2 weeks of operation. We were in downtown, as I said, McKeesport, across from the B&O, which had a station, which I think it still had passenger service. As far as I know, the downtown today isn't much left. The stations were long gone.
That car looks like it's right out of the paint shop.
Yeah, it was a pretty good condition. Not all of them were that good.
Well,
the car is an inbound car. We're looking roughly east. And at this point, only the 98 Glassport and the 56 McKeesport was operating. Now the 68, if you can see right behind the gate on the right, that's where the 68 came out of to turn back towards Oakland and Homestead. And despite McKeesport demanding that Pittsburgh Railways run the 68 across, they had no intention of doing so, because my understanding from talking to people living in that town is the coal trains came through frequently and they came through very slowly. The passenger trains had to stop several times at the station for the coach passengers, the baggage, and the Pullman passengers on that B&O line. So, and certainly they're right. It's a very different town now.
I just want to give you a correction. The 98 Glassport was gone already. There was a tornado hit the town and a lot of the wires were down, so it was only going to last for a few more weeks. So they just let it go.
One of the interesting things I'm noticing here, just a little detail, is how narrow the Devil Strip is there.
I think was it a wider gauge? It does give a
Well, yeah, it's similar to Philadelphia, but that seems a lot
It is
narrower than
narrow, yeah, it is
Philadelphia.
really narrow.
Now, Fifth Avenue was always a nasty street. And in fact, there's a slide in one of my shows. There's an automobile that wasn't parked up on the curb and the streetcar is all stuck up against it. And there are people trying to get around it on the other side. And it was just a very narrow, nasty street. And McKeesport couldn't wait to get rid of these things.
Wow.
Well, see, we had a very narrow Devil Strip on Arch Street.
Okay. Once again, this category was a tie. And so the other winner was this one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yes, that's Shaker Heights. Recently, the Shaker Heights was taken over by the RTA, and he immediately dropped the dollar fare to 35 cents with a free transfer. And the car is outbound on the Shaker line, and the Van Aken branch in the foreground branches off. Now, I took that in October of 1975.
Neat. Very nice.
Thank you.
Congratulations for both slides there.
A little bit of trivia here, if I can butt in. Those were the heaviest PCCs, Shaker's Pullman.
Really?
Yep. Because they had doors on the other side and MU and couplers, and they were insulated. Yep.
Oh, you mean for temperatures?
Yeah, for cold weather, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And according to Rich Kryzak, they never used those left-handed doors. It was a waste of money.
One of the trolley museums did a nice presentation on Shaker Heights last month.
Yeah. One of these cars is under restoration at PPM.
Neat.
Instead of using the left-hand doors, they ran the cars on the left side of the road.
Yeah, they had left-hand operation between 55th Street and Cleveland Union Terminal.
Interesting.
So they could use center platforms, center island platforms.
Yeah.
Okay, and our next group is Foreign, and Rich, you're up.
Oh, that's mine?
Yeah.
I demand a recount. This is that small three, it's not small, it's a 3-branch system on the south side of the Tagus, just outside of Lisbon. It's a neat little system, hauls a lot of people through a very densely populated area. The service is very frequent. These are Combino cars, and they look very nice. They ride really clunky, which was surprising because the system's very well maintained, and they connect with a very busy several very busy commuter rail stations for people traveling over the big spectacular bridge into Lisbon. This is a fairly new system. It's only been operating for about 10 years.
Very interesting.
And you can, it's interesting that if you see the way the track meanders behind, from where he came from.
Yeah, it's coming down that hill like that, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very nicely trimmed grass there between the rails.
The system is spectacular.
Yeah, the station doubles as a putting green. Yeah.
I guess it could. I think that's a cane and not a putter that guy has in his hand on the far left.
Yeah, but it could be doubled. Okay. Very good. Congratulations. And in Group F, Snow, Harry, it's obviously pre-2001.
Yes, it was taken on December 31st of 2000.
Wow.
The Twin Towers are still standing.
Yes.
And I remember that day, it was a heavy snow. And when I got up there, I didn't realize it was even heavier up there. And I see the cars have just plowed through.
It's funny that snow's just piled up in the middle between the track.
So one side, I think the outbound is actually in the pavement. And the inbound is on a sort of reserved right of way.
Okay.
Kind of strange.
Plows this? Is that NJT that plows this, or is this the city plowing that plows it?
I think the LRVs did the plowing, it looks like. But I'm sure it was somebody with a snow plow. It was about 13 inches of snow.
No, that's a healthy snow.
Yeah, it was.
So, okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
Our next group is Knight and Joe Pavoni. I'm not sure Joe is with us tonight. It took me a second to realize these were all his shots. These were model shots, and not only very nicely executed from the model, but also the photography point of view. Getting decent looking night shots or simulated night shots is kind of hard. So what's neat, I don't know if anybody picked up on the transit ads on the wall on either side of the entryway there.
And his other one too, I assume these all came from him.
Do we
looking
know
in
what?
the doorway,
Yes.
69th Street Terminal.
Yes, I looked, and the tile floor too, the checkerboard tile floor. So
Do we know what scale this is?
no, I don't. We probably should contact them and get a little more background on the photograph. But this, I guess, was somebody I guess chimed in that these were models when we were showing the night shots, and that's one of those things I was thinking about that we have a night category and we automatically think it's night prototype, but you can simulate night with the model as well. So anyhow, so congratulations, Joe, for that. And moving on to heavy rapid transit. And Harry, actually, there are 5 entries and it's a 3-way tie. So even split of votes here. But this is the first of your 3 shots that tied for number 1.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you. We're in Brooklyn, Smith and 9th Street. In September of 1970, this is an ERA fan trip using restored XXX cars. These cars were built by the BMT in the 1920s, and they ran until 1965. And they're in a 3-car articulated set. And I think 3 sets were preserved, but only about 1 is actually operable. And it hasn't operated in a few years.
Wow. That's just a neat shot there. And
thank you.
It's interesting. There's like obviously 5 spaces for 5 tracks. They use 4. Was that center section?
Well, one track until a few years ago did dip down.
Okay.
It was a track that dipped down to not a complete lower level, but just enough to put a one train in case they had a problem.
Okay.
I believe it's been ripped out, and also today there's all cables and all kinds of boxes and stuff that you couldn't get this view today. Not like this.
Yeah, it's a pretty clean looking shot.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, and your second winning shot.
Oh, this is interesting. This is in Queens, Long Island City. It's taken from a municipal parking lot on the roof. I just opened around, it opened up in the 80s, was there till about 3 years ago. They tore it down. So they can't get this anymore. We're looking here, we're looking into Manhattan. That's the Queensboro Bridge.
Mm-hmm.
One time there were L trains that did come across and connect here. This station is only half the size of what it was until the 1940s. Those are what they call Redbird cars. And they were built, they were built anywhere from about 1959 to around 1964. And they ran until about 2002. So we can't get that shot today. It's impossible.
My father had an uncle who had a cigar and candy store right by the lower left there. And in the back room, he had a 24-hour-a-day card game going on.
Oh, one more interesting thing. Until 1957, in the lower level there, in the inside, right inside the pillars, the Queensboro Bridge Railway operated with the bridge local.
Okay.
Today, that is now a part of just a roadway.
Is that levels of track there though? Is there a second level of rapid transit under the?
Yes, it's a two-level. It's a two-level. The northbound or outbound is on the upper level, and there's two more tracks on the upper side for the BMT trains that come out the tunnel. So they
Okay.
meet here, then they separate.
Huh.
Like I said, one time there was the station was double what it is now.
Wow.
There's two levels with 8 tracks.
Wow. Neat. Very neat shot. And your third winning picture.
Oh.
This almost looks like it's an airbrush shot. It's so clean looking here.
Well, that's the BART when it was fairly. When did I take? I took that in 1991, so it been open for a while. We're at the, I believe it was the Orinda station. It's if you're looking, it's heading down towards San Francisco, and this was the line at that time. It only went as far as Concord. I believe it's extended quite a distance out east. Oh, those are the original cars. They're all gone now.
No, they're still using them. They're replacing them, but there's still plenty of them left.
I think
That's
they
an
have
A
the
car.
I think they have the straight fronts, though, the second order.
Well, no, those are C cars. These are A cars. B
Right.
cars are in the middle. Then the Cs have a flat front with a window in it. They can use them either in the middle of the train or on the end. And they're still around too.
Okay.
Yeah. They're looking kind of seedy though.
Yeah.
Not as nice as this.
Yeah. Well, that was in 1991. So 30 years ago.
Neat. Okay.
Thank you.
And mainline electric. Guess who?
Oh.
Boy.
Oh, this is interesting. Very interesting because this was I took this in July of 1975, and as you can see, the station is still active. When you go inside, there was a lunch counter, and in the back there was a little bus terminal where local buses and intercity buses came in. This is all gone now. What they're doing right now is they're moving the rails. I guess they're going to have to tear down a lot of that buildings on the left there, and they're moving the rails. They're going to double track. Actually, at one time it was double track. They're going to double track it and have it on a reserved right of way. So right now it's a bus bridge. All this is gone. The station's gone. Everything's gone here.
Wow.
I thought, and I haven't been out there, I thought I had read a few months ago about this project and they were hoping to keep the facade of the station.
Yes.
I
What do you
think
know
they
about
did.
that?
Yeah, they
The
did.
facade is in storage.
You mean a piece of it still standing?
No, but the facade was saved and put in storage.
Yeah.
Okay. That's mainline electric.
Thank you.
And a car very near and dear to many of us here.
Oh yes, 46. It's down on Delaware Avenue on the Penn's Landing.
Yeah.
Trolley operation. Fortunately, they had to give it up. But the car is out in Scranton. I don't know if it's operable or not. But that's one of the original cars on the P&W.
Yeah.
It was a work car for many years. They did a nice job on it. I don't, is it operable? Anybody know?
Charlie, would you know?
Yeah, I don't know what it's, but basically it's not operable because the car is so high, you really can't fit it, you know, with the pole on into the building or so.
Oh. Will it go through the tunnel?
Yeah, I think it'll go through the tunnel.
You know, the tunnel is railroad clearance, so
Yeah.
it would go
Yeah.
through there.
That was high enough for the Laurel Line cars.
Yeah.
But see, the shop buildings that they built, well, they were all built, you know, before we had this. So they never made them big enough to accommodate the car.
Well, there, I used to run down there, run that car down there on Penn's Landing, and it was a lot of fun. And East Penn came down there sometimes.
Yeah.
Meeting down there in the evening.
We used to have our December meeting there.
Yeah.
What was really neat was you'd be at the south end of the line when it would be dark, and you'd open the controller up and all the lights go out in the car, you know. Dial the volt down to its knees, try. but that was just a nice car to operate. It's kind of has a feeling of like an old sailing ship, you know. Anyhow, a lot of memories, good memories running that. So congratulations, nice shot.
Thank you very much.
And our final category, models, Tom Picarillo. And his shot up on his Somerset County traction system. Looks like outside his car house there, some of his freight motors. So we had quite a number of nice model shots this year, and Tom's got a very nice, highly detailed operation up there, and it shows in the photographs there.
Is this HO or O?
That's O scale.
Oh, right. No, they're nice.
You know, it's
Very
These
nice.
operating sessions are something everyone should experience. They're great fun.
yeah, you don't normally get traction operating sessions. You know, you can think of that on regular model railroads with people having jobs and doing stuff, but he's got a regular railroad type operation there with assigned jobs and trains, and it's a very well executed line in models, and a nice shot of it there. So those are our winners. So so thanks to everybody for participating, and both as the people who submitted photographs and everyone who voted and commented, and hope everybody enjoyed it. I enjoyed putting it together.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike, for running it.
No problem.
I posted a link on the chat for the prehistory of the Shore Fast line.
Okay.
They used trolley wire, trolley poles, and third rail. But in the very beginning, if you follow that link, you'll see how they started out running electrically.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know. I can put it on my screen. I don't know if you're set up to share my screen. That is, I could put the picture. It's linked to a photograph.
Okay. I see. I'm on the page myself. Oh, okay. Is this the one with the Virginia Avenue strollers?
This is Virginia Avenue and the boardwalk.
Okay.
But this is the very beginning of Shore Fast line. That is actually, this is a Central Passenger Railway Company streetcar before the Shore Fast line was completed.
That's a photograph you're talking about there?
That's what your that's where your link goes, right to that.
Yes, I have if you click on the picture, you can really blow it up.
There on the left was the Morton Hotel.
All right, now pan around to get the trolley into the picture. All right, I'm sorry, the streetcar.
Oh, where's the streetcar?
Maybe you have guessed that it's not a trolley car,
Okay.
but it is electric.
Oh, really? Oh.
Which
The
a
building
battery?
on- The building
No.
on the far left was Dave Cope's uncle's hotel, the Morton. And he used to go into a high room in the hotel that his uncle would let him into and photograph from up there.
This says Central Passenger Railway Company.
Yes.
How did it run?
Look very carefully. It's not third rail, it's not trolley wire. but it is
Conduit?
Was that like a point contact system or so?
It's a Pullen, Pullen brand surface contact system.
Yeah.
Notice only one track has the contacts. The near track is just horse cars.
Huh.
And this is where the short fast terminal was.
Yes.
There are a couple postcards showing scenes like this
Yeah.
from about, say, 1907, 1908.
Well, this is, I think, 1905. By 1906, there are trolley cars at the site. In fact, another picture in this series shows a city trolley car advertising 2 ways to get to Ocean City. By either Atlantic Avenue trolleys and the steamer, or by the fast electric cars on the mainland.
How did the car get its power? From the rails?
No, it's a surface contact system. Look very carefully under the left front step of the car and you can see one of the square contacts. And then keep looking about every 5 feet and you'll see more of them. There's a skate under the car. And they're probably operated by a magnetic switch so that they're not live all the time. That is, the car carries a magnet.
Yeah. All right. And where's the power coming from?
From those contacts. So it's live, but it's only live when the car is over it. And then when the car moves away, it drops off and it's no longer live. But the problem was sometimes that switch mechanism failed. So it remained live after the car was gone. And you basically had this live 600 volt exposed to, on the surface.
Yes, so you would.
How many horses got electrocuted on this one?
Yeah, exactly.
So you would give one of the neighborhood kids a nickel and ask him to stick his bare foot on the contact to test it.
Systems like that in France, right?
Yeah, I think they're a little more reliable.
Yeah, but I think they're still playing around with those type of systems today.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's some in France and there's some in China now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Never heard of that before.
Yeah.
But by
Lewis Latimer
1906,
started it
by
back in
1906, they had the
Maryland.
short fast cars.
Yes. As I said, the 1906 picture in this series shows a trolley car with rooftop boards advertising both the shore fast line and the steamboat.
But I think the different systems had like trackage rights over it. So the railroad in the middle of the night could go run freight cars over the streetcar tracks
or the other way around.
Yeah.
In the daytime, the trolleys ran on the railroad track down Atlantic Avenue.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm pretty sure that's the history, that the Atlantic Avenue line was originally a railroad.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, down near the inlet, there's that long sweeping curve. And the reason you have that is because that was a railroad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were a number of Atlantic City streets that had railroad tracks, partly because there were 3 different competing railroads in town, although 2 of them came under the same ownership.
What was the third?
The West Jersey and Seashore was the third, although it came under Pennsylvania Railroad ownership.
Okay. Okay, I was going to say I knew Pensy and Reading, and I was trying to figure what the third was.
Well, the Pensy got control of the Camden and Atlantic,
In Atlantic,
and the
yeah.
West Jersey and Seashore.
Yeah.
The Reading was left with the Atlantic City Railroad.
Yeah.
Actually, a commuter business to Atlantic City was so heavy that in as late as 1925 and maybe a bit later, the Reading or the Reading's Atlantic City Railroad ran an express train from Camden that did not stop at the Atlantic City train station. Instead, it ran up Baltic Avenue and stopped at local stations along Baltic Avenue. It was a named train called the Baltic.
Wow.
Yeah, the last shore fast car to leave Atlantic City was at midnight.
Oh.
And the first one in the morning was at 6:15.
So I think there's some people that say that the short line on the Monopoly board really refers to the short fast line.
Line. Yeah, I think that's.
Yeah.
Well, the on the main line side of that, I remember seeing in what was left of the shore fast line being used as a freight railroad. In, I think like the 1980s, 1990s.
Yes. In 1983, Jimmy told me to check out the street trackage on Baltic and Mediterranean avenues because if there was enough of it left, he was going to borrow number car 120 from Penn's Landing and run it on that track to celebrate the start of the shore or the restart of the shore fast line railroad.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, by the time he got the idea, the track had already been disconnected and a lot of it paved over.
Now, I remember driving down through like Linwood, Northfield and whatnot, seeing a lot of freight cars, parked at various spots along the line, and it was still being switched as a freight line.
Yes. All right. In 1906, the city trolley car shown at the boardwalk in Virginia advertises on its roof 2 ways to get to Atlantic City: shore fast line electric flyers via Great Egg Harbor Bay, Atlantic Avenue trolley, and boat via Longport.
Yeah.
All under the same management.
Yeah.
All right.
Here, I'll post that link to the 1906 photo. All right, where's... I can find the chat again.
Yeah, it's I'm on it there. Yeah.
Oh, now I think I've got the secret now.
Okay.
How did
I remember the car barn up at the inlet, which became Garwood Mills at the store later on after the trolleys went away.
Right. I just posted the link to the 1906 photo with the trolley car in it, advertising 2 ways to get to Ocean City.
All right, guys, I'm going to sign out. Everyone have a great evening.
Well,
Okay,
thank
Rich,
you for what you
thanks.
showed us.
Hey, thanks for running this,
All right.
the contest.
Thanks, Michael. Yeah.
You're welcome. I had a blast.
Wonder what happened to Steve.
Before anybody gets away, can I just ask a quick question? One of you guys on your screen there in the background, you have the shot of that near side 6618 at
Oh,
Seashore.
yes.
Does that run?
Well,
Like,
once,
I heard they got it running.
once Jim's done here, I'll tell you more about that
Okay.
background picture.
I see the picture, Jim. I didn't see the sign advertising the two-way.
Yes, that roof board with Ocean City in the middle has the ads on either side of Ocean City.
You can see it. It's very faint.
Right.
I see it now. Yeah, I see it.
I played around with the picture on a computer to bring out the lettering and decipher it.
Must be the type of film used might not have picked that color up very well.
Right.
Yeah, back then they had what was called orthochromatic film, and it wasn't like, say, Verichrome pan. It recorded colors differently than what we saw.
Yeah, so now Atlantic Avenue, Longport,
Yeah.
Boat to Longport. Yeah, you're right. It's very faint.
Yeah.
Notice the car number.
Was it 68?
6618, yeah. I noticed that.
That's a Pennsylvania Railroad number.
Yeah, 6818. Yes, that is Pennsylvania Railroad. And I remember the
Burliners had Pennsylvania Railroad numbers
at the beginning.
Yeah.
Hey,
Let Alan show his picture.
So does that mean that this car that we're looking at right now became, after a lot of modifications, the orange and white shore flash line that we're used to seeing?
No.
No, that was a
okay.
semi-convertible, looks like.
All right.
Yeah. The car in the picture would have gone to Longport to meet the steamer, but it's advertising both ways. to get to Ocean City.
That wasn't equipped with third rail shoes either. Yeah.
Correct.
Alan, answer Bruce's question about the picture.
Okay, yeah. I'll close my camera, and that way you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why am I still seeing something in the?
Are you just trying to show your background picture?
Yeah. I don't know what that shadow is.
I think it's you. Actually a shadow of you.
Yeah.
It's the Phantom Alan.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, but I'm trying to get out of the picture and.
That's right. It looks like they're working on it.
No. Okay. That was taken in May of 1974 up at Seashore. That was an MPRA bus trip for Members Weekend. Saturday, we went up there, and of course on a Members Weekend, they have a lot of other cars running that normally wouldn't run. And then Sunday morning, as we get to the museum, there's 6618 sitting out there, doors open. So what happens if I?
What if you move away totally from the camera, out of the view of the camera?
Yeah, I don't know what's interfering with, because normally,
It's your shadow.
No, it's not me. I've moved well away from it. Yeah, I don't know what's doing.
Well, it is moving, so we got something alive there.
But
Yeah, because there's a Boston Type 5 behind it.
oh yeah. But anyhow, the car's sitting there. Yeah, just, right near the entrance to the museum. Car sitting there. Front doors open. Step down, as if to say, "Hi there, come on in. Let's go for a ride." Well, this was before the museum opened. Before the museum opened for the late morning, early afternoon. On this trip, they said, so everybody got on the car and they took us all the way down to the end of the line. And then we came back. Then he says, anybody who wants to motor this car can. So over a certain section of the line, I think it was just, plain straight wire. We made several back and forths until everybody who wanted to could. And of course, I was among them. And as long as we're talking about it, the Nearside has been my favorite car since I was 1 year old, according to my parents. They told me stories. Well, we lived on the 1600 block of North Franklin Street, and that's that 5-block section where Franklin Street is as wide as the number streets, and the 47 ran southbound for those 5 blocks. And they would put me out in the playpen on the sidewalk, and I would watch the trolleys go by. And then they told me about some things that I did to show that I was imitating the trolley. And then you probably can't, you may not be able to see it, but on the destination sign, there it is, 47 to 8th and Wolf, just like the trolleys that ran past their place some 70 some years ago.
No, listen, I just heard that they got it running because it had been sitting for a long time and it didn't run at Seashore. I love Nearsides too. I rode them in Chicago. I never rode them in Philadelphia, but I always liked them. And I know that's the only one left. Do you know if they got it running up there recently?
Well, I know when they had done a previous restoration, they hadn't restored the front platform. So I think most of their effort was restoring the front platform, and I haven't kept pace with what's going on up there.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. I love Nearsides.
Well, I'll tell you, on YouTube, if you put in, say, Breslin, BRESLIN 6618, there's a nice video. I guess particularly most of you people from East Penn know Bud Breslin. Well, he has a video on there where he takes the car for a run. So
thank you. No, I'll look it up. I sure will. I wrote it down.
So
my great grandfather was worked for the PRT, and my grandfather did too. And I would sit and talk to him for hours. And he would say, when we got the new cars, and what he was meaning was the Nearsides.
wow. Now that's going back a ways.
Boy, oh boy.
He ran the old pay withins. And
oh, geez.
His father was on the horse cars.
Oh,
and of course, his father's cousin was the horse thief that I guess used to steal the horses that William put on the horse cars. I guess, I don't know. His cousin was the Sundance Kid.
Yeah, I know. Jim Richards also did a video on the near side, but that was on a separate CD.
Yeah, 6618 was their training car. That's why I think it survived.
Yeah, that's exactly why, because it had all these extra features
Yeah.
where the instructor could simulate different situations like water on the track and so forth, or maybe a dummy appearing out in front of the car. But because of all those features, that's what's actually saved it.
Thank you. That's good news. I'll look this up.
Say that when the near sides were first put into service, the newspaper editorials accused the PRT of being socialist because they made everybody stand together on the same street corner.
Oh,
Also, remember when the near side, when the first, well, they had 1,500 of them, but they never had center doors. The center doors were added later to about 1,100 of them.
Right.
yeah, that's right. Starting in 1919, they put the center doors in
Yeah,
on 3/4 of the cars.
right.
And originally, it was they called them muzzle loaders because you both loaded and unloaded from the front. But they did have at the back a single panel, almost like an emergency door.
Yeah, Chicago's were like that. I remember riding in the back of one, but that door wouldn't open. I don't know what it was there for. I never saw one being used. But I just
Had a
like the
step,
sound
though.
of them.
Oh, so did I.
It was the largest group of identical cars ever built. 1,500 cars.
That's right. I have that book, Surface Cars of Philadelphia, and he lists every one of them, and
Yeah.
a lot of them were retired. They didn't last too long.
Yeah, it was a gradual thing. Yeah, I found out about that book in 1965. A columnist in the Sunday Philadelphia paper had it in his column. He had a full broadside view of a near side, and once I knew I had to get that book, and that's what really made a real trolley fan out of me.
Alan, I have a copy of that newspaper clip. My grandfather gave it to me. He said, "Hey, we got to get." I still have that newspaper clip.
If you go on YouTube, you can see one of the PTC promotional videos. There's about a 3-second clip of a unconverted near side at Southern Depot going out on the line.
Yeah.
Can you hear it?
No.
Now, who was it that said that they still have that article from the book?
Ray Lanova. I have it. I still have it.
Okay.
It was in the Philadelphia Bulletin.
Oh yeah. In fact, it was Jim Smart.
Yeah.
Could you possibly send me a copy of it if I give you my email?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. My email is alan.trac@verizon.net.
TR what? TRAC?
Yeah. At verizon.net.
TRAC at Verizon. Okay. Yeah.
Because
it's kind of yellow. The articles, you kind of yellow. In fact, I kept it in the book and it even showed it on the page.
Yeah, that's okay. But all I know is when I saw that picture of a near side, my eyes nearly burned 2 holes in the paper.
I remember them on the 12. They ran from Darby to Grays Ferry down to around 2nd and Spruce,
Oh, yeah.
I remember them on the 70 that when they took the double ends off the 70 and they took the near sides that were on the 36 and put them on the 70. And then they had two of them that they used on the 62 that ran between Darby and Yaden, and they had to be somehow or another, it was some kind of crazy licensing deal they had to be with Yaden.
Yes, yeah, I remember that too.
I remember the cars. I remember them running.
Well, weren't those on the,
$5 a year per
Say again?
car.
weren't they on the 65 as well?
They
Oh,
might have
yeah.
been, they might, no, I don't know if they were on the 65. The 65 ran down from Alany down. I don't know, to tell you the truth. They might have been, because I remember they were on I mean, at one time they were on all the routes at one time. I mean,
Well, the reason is because I remember I was living right across from Hunting Park on Lake Coming, and I was like 2 apartments down from Old York Road. And the 65s ran up there. This was before they extended to 20. And they look very different from the 8000s, you know, to my
yeah,
eyes.
yeah.
And
They had
then,
that,
you know,
they had that big section above the windows.
Yeah.
That was your key.
that's why I wondered, you know, when the 20 cars started to come up, I know it was very different.
Originally, the destination underneath the number was not on the original 50 cars. It was on the side over the doors.
Right.
But they added that. They added that later.
Yeah, I wrote them mainly on 40, 70, and 54.
Yeah. Yeah, the 54 was one of the last ones that had them when Lehigh Avenue.
Yeah, they took you to the ballpark.
Oh yeah, Lighthouse Field.
Yeah. Used to be
63
lined up on
one-
Smedley Avenue.
Were they one man then or two man?
Well, they started out 2-man, but they did convert some to 1 man.
Yeah. So did Chicago.
Yeah.
Oh, and since it's come up tonight, Atlantic City had near sides as well.
Right.
Well, those were the double-ended ones though, right?
No,
Oh,
That's
no,
your
they
side.
did.
no, they were single end. They were single end, but they had a larger back platform than the Philly cars had.
Really?
The ones that looked like these that were double end were the Hog Island cars. The
And
cars
some
they-
of them went to Atlantic City?
And I don't think they had double ends in Atlantic City on those.
I did not know that. I'll be darned.
I know one thing, they had a larger back platform for some reason.
Yeah,
They
They
were
may have been
rebuilt.
double
Yeah,
end,
they
but
were
I don't
rebuilt.
recall them being double end.
no, they weren't. I never saw one, but I've seen plenty of pictures of them.
Yeah. If you looked at a Hog Island car, it looked just like a near side with double end.
Yes,
same
yeah,
thing.
it was the ends of the Hog Island cars were pretty much the same as near sides.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And the 40,000, the 4,000 series and the 5,000, 4,000 series were MUs and the 5,000 series were singles, but they could
Right.
pull towers. And all of them lasted up till around 54, 55. They lasted.
55, I thought. But,
Yeah,
Yeah.
55 was the last of the near sides.
I remember on the number 9, they used to make that left turn from 29th Street on to Columbia.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you got to remember where I lived in the city in the Southwest, when they finally put the 30s. Well, they converted. They brought the PCC cars and they put them on the 11 and the 36. We thought they were brand new cars. That was in 55, 56. Well, we had everything out of Woodland was like the junkyard.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you had, you would have had all 80-hundreds.
At 80-hundreds, you had hogs. It was like a museum. Woodland.
Yeah.
Well, Woodland Depot was a museum.
Yeah.
Back in the horse-drawn days.
Well, I'm gonna pull a pin here. I haven't had any
Okay.
dinner yet.
Yeah, you'll
Thanks,
leave.
fellas. This was
Yeah.
very enjoyable. I learned a lot. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I
Okay,
was
thank-
gonna want to say goodnight to you guys. It's great to, be out here in Pittsburgh and be able to see everybody, but I'm diabetic, so every 2 months I have the joy of getting shots in my eye, and that happened today. And now the numbing medicine's wearing off and it's all pretty scratchy. You just want to close them. But thanks for all the information and it's great to see you guys every month.
Oh,
Thank you.
yeah.
Good to see you too.
It's great to see you when you have trolleyology too.
Yeah, I do a few of those, don't I?
Yeah.
Dolly Long, you still on?
Yeah, yeah,
Thanks for the calendar. Hopefully you got my check.
yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. No.
Said you were a lifesaver.
Yeah.
Okey doke. Is this, everybody saying good night then, or?
Okay,
Yeah,
good
that's
night.
it.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, good
All right,
night.
well, thank you very
Good
much.
night.
Yeah.
Everybody have a great
But,
weekend.
yeah,
Good
thanks a
job,
lot
Mike.
again, guys, and
Yeah.
looking forward to next month.
Yep.
Okay,
Okay,
See
good
you
night,
then.
George.
All right.
stay well.
All right,
Okay,
good night.
Good
good
night.
night. Bye.